There's no guarantee when you go in, you coming out. I seen dudes die on the first day. I seen dudes die on the day before they got out of prison. They have a coat on like this with no shirt on and a knife sticking out this way, knife sticking out that way. As I'm walking to my cell, in my mind, I'm already knowing I'm gonna kill you. My Bethlehem is like 13, 14 inches long. Thick, rusty steel. Came off the fence. I just pulled it out. And I just came behind him and I just hit him right in the back. When you walk out of that cell, you got to be ready to kill or to be killed.
Banky Pound has the wildest prison stories ever told on this podcast. He grew up in Washington, D.C. in the 1970s and 80s and became a stick-up kid while he was still in high school, robbing pimps, drug dealers, and businesses at gunpoint throughout Maryland and Virginia. After a robbery gone wrong where his co-defendant shot and killed a man, Banky got slammed with hundreds of years in prison. That's how they do folks in the South. After witnessing a brutal murder of a fellow inmate his first week in prison, Banky knew that he needed to become an animal. For the next 33 years, he never left his cell without a shank. You are about to hear some of the craziest stories of prison survival. So grimy and brutal, you could hardly believe conditions like these still exist in America. But Banky survived through the riots, the stabbings, and the murder cases, and in 2020, he made Parole. Now he's got one of the best prison YouTube channels on the internet. Check him out. He's all over the place. Banky Pound. And head over to Patreon for a bonus chat with Banky. Patreon.com/TheConnectShow. Without further ado, this one is heart-stopping. My friend, Banky Pound, right here on The Connect with Johnny Mitchell.
People don't want you around them when they know you will produce violence. You got to smash them because that is the message that's sent to everybody else. And when he went to get up, I hit him again. It cut my whole hand open and his teeth came out in my hand. Up under him is like a pool of blood just getting bigger and bigger. And that was over less than $2. It's no winning in prison. It's just war at all times.
So you're from Virginia, which is a Commonwealth.
I'm from D.C., but I have roots in Virginia, so I was in both, but I'm born and raised in D.C.
Okay,
but I got family in VA, so every summer I'm in VA. Regular year, I'm in D.C. You know what I'm saying?
Because you're a D.C. cat.
Yeah, you see it. Parliament.
All right.
Chocolate City.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
D.C.'s, is that what they call it? Chocolate City?
Chocolate City. D.C. is called it Chocolate City.
Why?
Because it's mostly 90% black people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Even though it's changed a little more now.
It's still 90% black people. White people run it, but it's 90% black people. And because, you know, it's home of the president.
Right.
It's
kind of like the country.
It's the country, right. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's called Chocolate City, home of the go-go, the own genre of music, everything. The roots in D.C. is huge, you know what I'm saying? We got some of the biggest hustlers that come out of D.C. We got some of the biggest rats turn out to be, you know, Rayful, you know what I'm saying? But ain't nobody do it like he was doing it when he was on the street. You're talking about a man that's under 25 bringing in $100 million a year.
Right.
So, you know, but it's just, the city is mostly predominantly black.
And it's fascinating because it is D.C. It's its own state. It's its own nation state. And it's the South, but it's not, right? So you've got this influence of like northern money-making culture.
Right.
From, you know, that comes from New York, Philadelphia, all the way down the eastern seaboard, Baltimore.
Yes.
But then it's also got this real like countryness to it. And, you know, like when I see photos of, you know, Virginia prisons, I get a creepy feeling because it looks like slavery. Yeah, it's a bunch of black people with a white guy on a horse. And you're like, oh, that makes me uncomfortable.
It's exactly slavery. Exactly slavery. And then they got these new prisons now, like this up in the mountains, right? And like Red Onion, Wallace Ridge, King Mountain, right? I promise you with everything I love, man, is when people ask me to explain it, and the best definition that I can give is if you ever seen the movie Roots, it's like Roots, man. I'm talking about the officers, the administration, what they use the N-word like it's regular, talking to you.
Still?
Yeah.
In 2025?
Yeah. Wow. They'll talk to you like that. And they have unalived many people up there and gotten away with it. You know what I'm saying? It's like no other world, brother. I don't even know how they still even open.
Yeah.
You know what
I
I'm
mean, every
saying?
inmate has a cell phone now. How are they not getting filmed saying the N-word?
They ain't got no damn cell phone up there. You ain't getting no cell phone. How you gonna get a cell phone up there? Everybody up there is chewing tobacco and hillbillies, and they ain't gonna bring you nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you asking for something, you gonna end up in the hole with the handcuffs behind your back, getting beat by billy clubs.
Right.
You know, so yeah, that's out of 33 years, the worst place I ever been.
Wow. And it's still open.
It's still open. I ended up there 6 years for a cell phone.
Wow.
Yeah, so
insane. That's something you'd think you'd see in Mississippi, not like Virginia.
Oh no, this is in Virginia.
But that is country.
Well, you Red Onion, Google it. Google Red Onion and Wallace Ridge. They have tried to shut them places down so many times, but it's the economy, it's the money. You know what I'm saying? They dynamite mountains and cleared them out to make this prisons for the economy, because the only thing they had up there was coal mines.
Right.
So this helped all of them.
Yeah, now everybody that got laid off in the coal mines is now working in the prison.
And don't know anything about prison, but they know they don't like black people. They don't like anybody that's not white. And you can pull up on them and they'll tell you that straight. I pulled up on the warden one day, and I said, yo, man, I mean, what's going on, man? This is crazy right here, a lot of it. And you know, he literally told me, he said, well, man, this is the warden now. He said, well, you know, a lot of officers that we have here, man, they didn't grow up around black people, and they don't like black people, so you have to understand that. You know what I'm saying? So you just have to understand that and work with them and just try to stay out of their way and do your time, man, and get from up here.
Yeah. Right. Instead of like, hey, you should tell them not to. Yeah, you should tell them not to be like that.
If you don't like black people, what the hell is you working in prison for when it's predominantly black?
Yeah.
What is you talking about? And he literally told me that, and I looked at him and I understood who I was talking to, and I was like, okay, all right.
Yeah.
But that just put it all in perspective for me.
So the prisons on the state level in Virginia are predominantly black?
Predominantly black. Yeah, it's like 80%.
Now, real quick before we get into your childhood, being from D.C., were the cats that were catching charges, I heard a lot of that goes federal because it's in D.C. Is that true?
It ain't a lot of it, all of it.
All of it.
If you commit any crime in D.C., you going in the feds.
Even if you're, I burglarized some houses.
Right. It's Lorton. You going to Lorton. Lorton is federal prison.
Okay.
Because you're in D.C., you're in the nation's capital. It's going to be considered a federal crime.
Right.
You pull a robbery in Virginia, you're going to get a robbery charge. You pull a robbery, and you're going to the state. You pull a robbery in D.C., you going to Lorton, you going to the feds.
And is that why the D.C. blacks are one of the biggest cars in the federal system?
Biggest cars in the federal system, because once they shut Lorton down, they put all of them dudes in the federal system because they feds. They considered feds. But Lorton was one of the most dangerous, most vicious prisons in the United States for decades. You know, they ended up shutting it down, to my understanding, because it was, man, they got so vicious in there. It's like, I know you've been in the feds and stuff, but it was so vicious in there that, like, okay, I'm beefing with you and I'm trying to get you and I can't get you, or I can get you. But it got so serious with them in there, it was like, okay, well, this ain't working. Okay, we gonna take it to the next level. See, in there in Lorton, I remember, even because I had kinfolks in there, you can get called for a visit, and then somebody else can just call somebody. They can come up there and they can come in there and visit. So when people was going in there for a visit, say, I got a beef with you. And then somebody in there tell me, you in the visiting room. So then I call my people and tell them to come up so they can call me out. So when they call me out, then I run over there and I stab your people.
They came to visit me?
Yeah.
Holy
your people.
That happened?
Yeah, a lot. That's why they started. That's what eventually shut it down. Then it was happening so much that they started sending them in the regular visits with the shackles and handcuffs on. And it was just so much that they just shut it down. And then they sprinkled all of them people into the federal system. But at first they put them in Virginia. They was in Virginia. They was in Sussex 2 and Sussex 1 when they was just opening. When I went there in 2002 when they opened it for Virginia inmates. So when I get there, they have the Lorton guys there. They're transitioning into the feds. But right now, they're here until they can get placed. So it was good for me because I met a lot of homies and it was giving me stuff that nobody else had. We couldn't have a TV. We couldn't have our property for like 3-4 months. But the Lord and dudes was workers, so we locked in all the time. And they come over in the part and work. So I was seeing dudes I knew and homies. I had cigarettes, I had TV, smuggled a TV in there. So I was doing good. But they eventually sent them all out. And all them dudes was leaving their stuff there because they couldn't take anything to the feds. They couldn't take their TVs. They couldn't take nothing. You know what I'm saying? So then they all ended up in the feds. So that's, the DC car and the feds they all stayed together. Don't matter if you're from Southeast, Northeast, whatever, they stayed together. In fact, I was just talking to my homeboy who was in the feds, and he got himself out. Might be a good plug for you too. I told him I was going on here today. I talked to him about an hour ago. He has a channel called DC Blacks. Very smart dude named Eon, and he was with all of the who's.
That would be interesting. You got to get him on here.
He did 17 years, and look, got himself out. Won't supposed to be out to this day. Wow. He went in that law library, got himself out, used a retroactive law to get him out. You understand? So very, very smart. Got a DC Black channel now.
Why do you think Southern prisons are the way they are? Even today, like they're conditions that you find in like third world countries. I mean, people getting stabbed in the middle of the day room. We see videos of these things pop up. Is it the corruption? Is it because they have less resources because these are like known to be poor places? Is it because you guys have so much time? Why is it that places like Virginia all the way down to Texas are just horribly run places?
I think it's a combination of all of that because you giving people more time than humanly possible. You know what I'm saying? Like me, I had 2 life sentences, 115 years when I first went in. Ended up with 130. No court time in there, but brother, you don't live but one life. How can I have 2 lives? You know what I'm saying?
Like the Richard Pryor joke. you heard that? I met a with 3 life sentences. He got to die and then come back to the. Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane. And I known dudes with 6 life sentences, 5, 4, whatever the case may be. I've known them all. But the thing about it is this: it's so run so unorganized, it's unreal, bro. Listen, this is a true story. I know dudes who came to prison. I was talking about this the other day on my live. Came to prison with a murder charge, right? I went to prison with a murder charge, a robbery charge. Eventually ended up in prison getting malicious wound charge, right? But I know dudes came to prison with a murder charge. In prison with a murder charge. Get a murder in prison and got out before me. You tell me how you explain
There's no rhyme or reason. There's no consistency.
I know dudes with 6 life sentences. I know 2 in particular, very close to both of them. Out on the street walking now. 6 life sentences. Both did less time than me. Only one did like a year less than me. One of them did 32. Other one did 15. But laws got him out. But 6 life sentences. But yet I tell you, Bo Billy is still in prison without a life sentence, without a murder.
The guy doing 50.
But doing 50.
Yeah.
I know his homeboy, Spook, does 50, on year 52. See what I'm saying? So it's like, it's no rhyme or reason.
In Virginia, is a life sentence, what is that considered? Like a minimum 30? Or
life sentences, you go up for parole, you're supposed to go up for parole after 12 years if you got life. If you got anything over like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I just got to point out, not a bad deal.
Not a bad
on
deal.
paper.
On paper.
Because if you come from a place like Oregon, the complete opposite of Virginia, there's not a lot of black people even in prison. There's not a lot of violence in prison. But if you get life, that means life, baby. You're not going to see the board.
Right.
It's life without.
Okay. It's the same thing, though. Because in Virginia, you go up in 12, but you ain't going to make it.
They don't parole people?
Man, they had 2% parole ratio for over 35 years.
Yeah.
There's no one making parole. That's just a formality.
I see.
I went up, I didn't even go up in 12, which I was supposed to, but I know why. I go up more time. So I ended up going up 18 on the 18th year. I still got turned down 15 times before I made it.
You went to the board 15 times?
15 times.
Oh, because you went every year after your
Every
18th year?
year after that. And then they implemented some bull jive with that, saying, when was that, like 2000 something, they implemented it. Now you can go up. You're supposed to go up every year, but they can implement giving you a 2-year hit, 3-year hit, 6-year hit. Meaning when I go up, if you turn me down, they say, I'll see you 6 years later. Or I'll see you 3 years later. You don't even go up for that time amount. So it was crazy. I only got one. I got one on the first year that I went up. First year I went up, they gave me a 3-year hit. It was like, nah, you're not even qualified. I'll see you 3 years later. After that, I went up every year and I got turned down 15 times, man.
And was your behavior getting better?
Yeah.
What year do you, because a lot of cats who get life sentences like you or de facto life sentences, they, for their first 10 years, they're wilding. Because why wouldn't you? Like, you expect to die in there, so they're bringing in balloons, they're stabbing people, they're getting in fights, they're talking shit to the officers. But then usually they mature and they realize, I don't want to be at war for the rest of my life if I got to be in here. What year did you feel like you started to, comport yourself?
With me, it probably was a little different because of the circumstances, I'm from Virginia, but I'm not from Virginia, so it ain't like most of my time was in D.C. They don't know me, so and I'm a little guy, so I gotta demonstrate. That's just what I had to do. You know what I'm saying? So when I first, like I said, I went to receiving, Southampton receiving. I ended up getting in a fight in there over some. It wasn't even my fault, but I ended up getting in a fight. Now they're looking at the charge that I got, the time that I got. They immediately locked me up and shipped me to the wall, which was the worst prison in the state of Virginia.
Okay, but hold on. I don't want to, because I want to talk about how we got there.
Right.
Okay, because it's strange to me because you're a good guy, I can tell, and you had a mom who was strict.
For sure.
You grew up, did you grow up, like, what was childhood like?
Man, my mom was, I love her to death, man. Yeah. Right now, she's the sweetest thing in the world. The grandkids, I don't even know who this woman is with these grandkids because they get anything they want.
Right.
I got the belt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She won't play no games. She ain't, she took care of 4 kids on her own. She was a superhero for sure.
Where was Dad?
My dad passed away when got killed when I was in New York when I was like 12.
Over what? Do you know?
I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Don't know.
He was in New York, or he was
in New York. He was in New York, and
was he a hustler?
No.
Do you have any of that in your family? Uncles or anything?
I got a lot of that in my family, but it wasn't him. But whatever the case was, he was in some type of altercation, and all I know is I was woke up at like 2 a.m. My mom crying and wake my sister up and whatever. And they told us, you know what I'm saying, boom, come on, let's go. And went over my grandmother's house. And everybody was crying. I didn't understand what was going on. I'm like, what's happening? And it was like, boom, my father was gone. It's like they found him in the Hudson River, tied up, floating. So it was crazy to me. And I couldn't understand it at the time, but I'm like, wow, you know what I'm saying? That's like super crazy to me. So, yeah.
Traumatizing.
Yeah.
You're 12 years old and you just lost your father brutally.
Yeah, and I was like, I didn't understand that, man. And, my mom, man, she did a good job. My uncle did a good job. He was more like a father figure to me for the most of my life. And he was a rough, tough guy, man. And I think my mentality comes from him. He was more or less like with me and my brother, like, you're a grown man. Once you become a man, you don't take no L's. You don't let no man do nothing to you. You understand? You don't take whoopings. You take whoopings when you're a kid. You don't take whoopings as a grown man. I don't care what you got to do. Pick something up, use something, I don't care. And my mom used to be like, man, don't tell them kids that, you gonna get them in trouble. And he looked us straight in the eye and say, I'll get you out of it. but you don't let nobody do nothing to you. I don't care what you do. So it's like when I was like 15, I think my brother was like 13, and a dude played a trick on him and, told him, hold on, I'm gonna show you something, the blindfold, back up, and bagged him up and made him step in some dog poop. And he on some new shoes, so he was crying and they laughing. There was older kids, you know what I'm saying, like 19, 20. So my brother, going by my uncle's philosophy, he see him like 2 or 3 days later sitting on the corner talking to his buddy smoking cigarettes. My brother came up behind him with a cinder block and bust his head open. And, had almost put him in a coma, and that guy ended up becoming, later on in life, becoming like one of the head detectives.
Oh, no.
Becoming one of the head detectives in that city. And it was crazy but that was the mentality that our uncle instilled in us.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? You win at all costs, man. It ain't nothing fair in this, but you don't take whoopings. So he became the father figure in my life.
Right.
And unfortunately he passed away when I was locked up. So after I got locked up, I was never able to be around him again, but
that reminds me of the first time you had to stab a dude in prison. It was kind of over one of these bullying situations.
Yeah.
And you probably weren't thinking it consciously at the time, but your uncle's lessons were instilled in you. And
it's in my head, and I'm looking at it like, dude is probably like the biggest dude on the compound, if not he right there. And he was locked up for a murder charge, and a vicious murder at that. I mean, like, put up, to my understanding, put up on somebody at the stoplight, got out with a sawed off and blah, blah. So my philosophy is, if you took life under any circumstance, I know it's in you. You understand?
Sure.
And he told me he was gonna kill me. He said, I'm gonna end up killing you, man. And he didn't like me for nothing, no real reason. You didn't like me because of what I had going on with somebody else. So, but little did I know, he was illiterate. And this dude was helping him with his mail and his reading and all of this and all of that. So when I got this situation going on with this dude, he's like, hey, leave him alone. So he's thinking he can lean on me. I can't be leaned on. You know what I'm saying? And I try to warn him. And I had a homeboy, which is one of my best friends to the day, and hopefully he's back in, waiting to get out any day now. And he was like, he kept telling him, he was cool with the dude. I wasn't. So he kept telling me, he said, man, you better leave him alone, dog. He ain't one of them dudes. And he was like, man, F him, man. I don't like that little, I don't like him. And I'm like, man. And I told my homeboy, I said, you better tell him, man. And then it just came to a head. And it was to the point when he said, man, I'm gonna end up killing you. And that just stuck in my head. I'm like, oh no, I'm not gonna wait for you to do that.
And I think he said this in front of a bunch of other people.
He said it in front of the whole block.
Which is so dangerous. Yeah. Because if you let that ride,
you know what I'm saying?
You're fresh meat.
And I'm like, somebody's gonna kill me. So I said, yeah, you got that, man. Don't worry about it. I know I got it, man. You better get them. And I'm like, all right. But in my mind, I'm walking up the stairs, and as I'm walking to my cell, in my mind, I'm already knowing I'm going to kill you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even going to sit around and wait for you to do none of that. So I go up, and I go in my cell, and I sit down, man, and I'm thinking about it. I literally can remember just thinking about it. Like, what they going to do to me? What can happen to me? You know what I'm saying? Versus what he's saying he gonna do to me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm contemplating all of this, and I just came to the conclusion. I said, man, oh hell, he got to go. He got to go. And I went down there and I did what I did, and he was his whole goddamn attitude changed. Oh, stop, don't. And that was a lesson for me though, because that was like the first real, with that weapon, that Bethlehem, engagement I had. It was a lesson for me that dudes can talk like they're gonna kill you, they can intimidate you, they can put you in fear, but when really happens, they're not ready for that. And he went to court on me, man.
Okay, yeah. Can you describe what happened?
Yeah, he went
after you grabbed your knife. And
when I grabbed the knife, I came down there. He was working out, right? And like I say, I'm in my mind, I boxed all my life. That's a prize fighter. That's in the ring. You get paid to do that. It's rules and regulations. In real life, there ain't no rules. In real life, it's a surprise fight, not a prize fight. However you can get it done, you get it done. You know, I'm not in no medieval times. I'm not going to duel with you. I'm not going to say, Johnny, get your knife and let me get mine, let's go. I'm not doing none of that. I don't want to get hurt. And that's my whole thing. I ain't trying to get hurt. I'm a little guy. I ain't trying to take no knife. You know what I'm saying? So I said, I'm going to get him. And so I go down, and I know he thinking I'm scared. He thinking, I ain't going to do nothing. And I was plotting on him, and I just watched him, and he was working out. So he was doing jumping jacks. No, he was doing sit-ups at first. He was doing them, and I'm watching, and I'm counting. And he go to the back door, and he get up on it, and he doing his sit-ups. He do like 50, he get up and walk a little lap around the block, go back, do 50 more. So I'm looking at him, and I'm saying, yeah. And I'm saying to myself, like, yeah, when you go back and do the next set, my plan was the phones are right beside the back door where he's doing these sit-ups at. Mm-hmm. My plan was, I know it's idiotic, it sounds idiotic now, but at the time, it sounded legit. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I'm gonna go to the phone, and I'm gonna act like I'm on the phone, and when he go do them sit-ups, and when he lean back, I was gonna put it right in his forehead. Just put it in his forehead, walk away, act like I'm getting some hot water, and go to my cell. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what the hell happened. That was my plan. Mm-hmm. He stopped doing sit-ups, and he started doing jumping jacks. So I'm like, okay. So I'm watching him do jumping jacks. I watch him, he do 100. Same thing, walk a lap, come back. I watch him, he do another one. I said, okay, well, that's what you're gonna do? I'll get you right there. So he had his back to me, and he just, So I said, okay, when he came back to do the next set, I said, all right, I looked around the pod, I said, all right, I'm gonna get his ass right now.
Are you on the yard?
We in the pod. We in the pod.
Okay.
We just came off a lockdown. Ain't no movement, no nothing. We just in pod wreck. We ain't even been out yet.
So close quarters.
Close quarters. Everybody down there playing cards. Dudes is waiting to go to a shower. Dudes waiting in line to go to the phone, get in the microwave. Right. I'm standing on the stairs like a goddamn lion watching a gazelle. Right. I'm like, yeah, but I'm trying to act like I'm not watching them, but I'm watching them. Right. And I said,
and sorry, cameras. Did they have cameras at the time?
No.
Oh, geez.
That's what made it even better.
Yeah.
No. So I'm like, boom. And I said, well, when we go back, I'm acting like I'm looking over here, but I'm seeing him. And once he went back and he started his set, I was like, oh, yeah, okay. Mm. So I looked at the part, I see who was in there, what they was doing, and I make my way to him. And as he doing them, as I get about from me to you to him, I just pull it out, and I just came behind him, and I just hit him right in the back. Now, in my mind, you young, man. In my mind, I had read something, seen some movie. Somewhere in my mind, I had it in my mind. They say, if anything pierces your heart, you automatically collapse. So I'm thinking, my Bethlehem is like 13, 14 inches long. Thick, rusty steel. Came off the fence, right? So I'm like, boom, I'm going to hit him right behind his heart. He's going to drop. I'm going to, same stuff, I'm going to go to the hot water joint, give me some water, and go to my cell. I don't know what happened. That's what was my plan. When I hit him, boom, I hit him so hard, my hand hit his back. It was like, you could hear it, boom, like a punch. And he said, what the And he turned around. When he turned around, being that he didn't drop, I was like a deer in headlights. I didn't know what to do. So I just advanced on him and tried to hit him in the face. And he put his arm up and hit him in the arm. And it went through his arm. And it was all the way through his arm. And I tried to pull it out. And I had to jerk it back. And he was like, okay. Oh, you got it, man. All right, that's enough. You got it. And I said, man, I told you I'd kill you, man. Don't play with me, man. He was like, okay. Wow. And my homeboy is locked up right now. He was like, he called me. He was like, Scott, everybody looking at you. Hey, come on, man, leave him alone. So I look around, everybody in the pod and stop playing cards and stop doing this, everybody like this. And I'm like, oh. So I cuff it under my arm and I started walking away. And as I'm walking away, going to my cell, I heard, and I turn around and look, he done snatched the coat off of somebody that's playing cards and start wrapping his arm up like, I'm gonna kill you. So I said, okay. So I started going at him, and he started going around the table. And then as he's going around the table, he just, and he just dropped. I could have killed him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But everybody looking at me.
Yeah.
I'm standing over top of him now. He's laid down with a car with a joint wrapped halfway around his arm, you know, and he just... And my homeboy, again, that's why I love him to this day. That's why I'm waiting for him to get out. He was like, leave him alone, Scott. Leave him alone. He called me Scarface. You know, he said, leave him alone, Scott. Leave him alone. Just go to your cell, man. So I started going to my cell, and I was so paranoid, so in a zone. His cell partner at the time was my homeboy, too. One of the few dudes from D.C., but I'm thinking, your celly, you with your celly. And as I'm coming up the stairs, he's standing in the door, and I said, you with him? You with him? You. And he was like, no, I ain't got nothing to do with that. And he hit his door and got his door closed. So when his door closed, I go up to his door. I said, you with him? If you come out this cell and act like you with him. He said, man, I ain't got nothing to do with that, Bank. I ain't got nothing to do with it. I said, yeah, all right. I'm just zoned. I'm zoned out. I go down to my cell. There's another dude named Lowe. I'd never forget him. He was cool too. R.I.P. to him. He ended up dying in prison. He said, he came down to me. He was like, man, give me the knife, man. They gonna come get you. I said, man, I ain't getting him no knife, man. I said, that joker might come back. He might, bro. He not coming back. But I was gone. First time I'm gone, I'm paranoid. He was like, man, he not come. I said, bro, he might come back. He said, man, what is you talking about? Let me get the knife. These people won't come get you. I said, no. So I went and put it back in my bam. I put it in the hiding spot, and I'm thinking, boom, I come back out, I'm leaning on the rail. It's about 15, 20 minutes later, they just come in the party. Everybody lock up, lock up, lock up, lock up. Everybody go to your cell, go to your cell. Go to the cell. Come right to me. Come right and get me.
So he told.
Yeah, he told.
Straight up.
But see, this what they be doing in VA. Crazy, diabolical. You get hurt, you get stabbed, you get whatever. They won't take you to medical. When they taking you to medical, they say, tell me who did it. They say, I need help. They say, you better tell us who did it, man, for you. And they put that pressure on him. So he told, but he put that pressure. I learned that later on in my bit when I did something to somebody else. They put that pressure on. They like, he may give me to the hospital, give me to the hospital. They like, who did it? Yeah. You want to get to the hospital, tell us who did it. Wow. And they'll put that pressure on, and dudes is hurting, they bleeding, they thinking they gonna die. Yeah. Johnny did it. Right. You know.
You can understand, almost.
To a point, but he still told. You know what I'm saying? And being that he did that, when they gave me a street case, he had to show up in court. But when he showed up in court, he acted like a fool. He got the handcuffs and shackles on trying to get to me. What you gonna do to me? Headbutt me? Right. Spit on me? What are you gonna do? And the judge said, man, get this out of my courtroom, and dismissed it. So that helped me. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Okay. So that is brutal. So they might just let you bleed out if you don't want to tell.
Oh, yeah. If you don't tell, man, they'll be.
I have erectile dysfunction. I don't even need to read the copy for this, okay? Because this product is near and dear to my heart. I've had erectile dysfunction since I was in high school. I, John Mitchell, proudly stand on business, say that I cannot achieve an erection the natural way. I've been taking penis pills for years. I've tried the gas station stuff. I used to have to go to Mexico to get my Hims has changed the game. I know there's so many of you out there that struggle with erectile dysfunction. Do you know how important it is to have a hard? It's so important. Hims provides access to a range of doctor-trusted ED treatments like chewable tablets, Viagra and Cialis, and their generics for up to 95% less. The process is 100% online, so there's no need for uncomfortable doctor visits. Yeah, that's a huge one. Just fill out an intake form on their site, and a medical provider will determine the right treatment option. If prescribed, your medication ships directly to you for free. No insurance is needed, and one low price covers everything from treatments to ongoing care. With hundreds of thousands of trusted subscribers, Hims can help you find the ED option that works for you. Start your free online visit today at hims.com/connect. That's HIMS.com/CONNECT for your personalized ED treatment options. hims.com/connect.
The featured products include compounded products which are not approved nor verified for safety, effectiveness, or quality by the FDA. Prescription required. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Guys, I'm very excited to be working with this next sponsor, Bay Smokes. Bay Smokes, the country's #1 online dispensary out of California, my adopted home, the land that I love, the land that I'm in exile from. They're a California company, and they are the #1 online dispensary. I've actually been using these guys for a while. Like, they've been trying to get on the show. They've been trying to buy ad space, and I've been kind of giving them the runaround. But the truth is, they're fire. They've referred to themselves as Zaza. I guess that's what the kids are calling it. These guys are a great brand. Their products are 100% legal, federally legal, and they ship to all 50 states. So if you live in a state where the boof packs are a little dubious, it's a little hard to go get them at a brick and mortar, that's fine. Just go to Bay Smokes. Just go to their online dispensary and they will have it shipped to you. And guess what? Guess what? They've got a deal on some Zaza right now, a free taster. That's right. And trust me, it's not just a taster. It's like substantial. It's a great deal. Go get it right now for free. All you do is pay for shipping. Use that link that I put in the description of the episode under Bay Smokes. So this is a killer company, guys. Happy to be with them. Go claim that, dude. Bay Smokes. Thank you for being a part of the Connect. And these guards, the administration in places like Virginia, are they mostly black?
On flatland. Flatland meaning not in the mountains. If you're on flatland, like the regular prisons, the normal ones, Greensville, Sussex, Brunswick, Buckingham, Southampton, all these is flatland prisons. It's going to be predominantly black COs.
But they're not nice either, though.
They bootlickers. Bootlickers.
That's an old term.
well, let me get to you like I get
what
to
does
you
that mean
on my
for people
channel. Bootlicking, Uncle Tom, Jeffro Bodine, tap dancing. They just, only thing black about them is their color. You know what I'm saying? They do anything for the administration. They adhere to your misery. They make their living off of your downfall, and they don't care nothing about you. You know what I'm saying? And I don't care nothing about them. So they bootlickers. So they ain't no different. To be honest with you, to keep it 1,000, if you get a white CO on flatland, not in the mountain, but on flatland, he's gonna treat you better than the black CO. Because whatever you supposed to have, he gonna make sure you have it. Whatever the rules is, he gonna follow. These bootlickers, man, I ain't getting no pillow. I ain't got my stuff out, but okay, all right, you'll get it. You'll get it, man. And the first time you raise your voice, you threatening me? They bootlickers, man. But in the mountains, predominantly white.
It's all honkies.
Yeah. And they N-wording you down. I'm talking about walk straight up to you, be like, hey, did you go to commissary today? What?
Wow.
Yeah.
It's fascinating being from a place that was so inappropriate and taboo forever. It's fascinating that still exists in America.
Bro, I was up there doing the shortly after the Trayvon Martin verdict, right? I was the barber. So I had to go in the office to turn my equipment in. Young white guy, CO. Probably about 24, 25. So him and another officer in there, and when I walk in to turn the equipment in, I knock on the door, he said, come on in. They in there talking about Trayvon Martin, right, in the case. And this is a conversation. Man, you know that was out there to do something bad. You know he had a hoodie on. He had a hoodie on. You know what he was out there? He was trying to rob somebody. So why is they making all of this fuss about, and they talking about this right in front of me, right? Yeah. Why is they making all this fuss like it's wrong and shit what Zimmerman did? I would have shot his ass too. He was out there, and I'm like, so I'm putting this stuff up, right? And in my mind, I'm saying to myself, Bank, act like you just can't hear this stuff. Just act like you can't hear it. And he gonna call me and he asked me. He said, hey, tell the truth. Just be honest. We know you black, but you know that was out there trying to rob some shit, won't it? So I'm just looking at him, right? And I'm like, nah, I don't know what he was trying to do. You know what he was trying to do. You know goddamn well if you out there with a hoodie. And I'm like, hey, bro, I said, I'm just trying to turn this stuff in. You know, but I remember just going to my cell, man, and I was just praying, man. I was like, man, I want to bash their face in so bad. You know what I'm saying? What gives you the audacity to even speak to me like that? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I know where I'm at. You know, and you got to know where you at when you up there, because this institution alone, if you Google it right now, bro, they got, I know it's anywhere between 3 to 5, 6 unsolved murders at the hands of officers. Wow. You know what I'm saying? And ain't nobody got convicted or nothing. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So I know where I'm at. I've seen them put you in handcuffs and beat you down. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And you can't even write a grievance up there. You can't even write a complaint up there about the situations, about the officers. If you write it and you say, give me a grievance, they literally ask you, which is your right. They literally, what you want it for? Who you writing up? And you write it up and you give it to them to turn in, because you got to give it to them to turn in. Right. They look at it and tear that shit up right in front of your face. Yeah. Man, I ain't turning this in. Hey, bro, this ain't even about you. I ain't writing on you. It don't matter. You tear it right up in your face, bro, and you can't do nothing. If you buck, they gonna give you a fake charge. They gonna lock you up. They gonna beat you up, and they gonna say you had a knife on you. They'll put one on you. They say he had a knife. He tried to stab the officers while you laid up in segregation somewhere, healing up with a broke arm or missing tooth or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so it's really like the modern plantation. Oh, yeah. The modern slave driver, not the slaver, right? Yeah. These white boys don't have anything. They're almost as miserable as the people that they're guarding.
Bro,
you know?
I'm not saying this to be funny. I'm not saying this because of my disposition against them. I'm saying this because this is facts. Go check. But they inbreed up there, bro. But you ain't never seen.
I don't think anybody doubts that.
But you have never in your life, have you ever in your life seen a 5'2" guy with a 22 size shoe? Right. You got 22 size shoes up there, bro, and you this tall. It look like some bozo type stuff. Yeah. And then you got dudes that got heads so big that when they got on fitted hats, it's not even plugged in the back. It's just open. You got women up there with size 13 shoes and chewing tobacco. Yeah. And spitting out snuff while they talking to you, walking around doing count with a cup in their mouth talking, what you need? You need a request? A woman. Get out, man. Come on, man. Yeah. And they put us in here and they let these people have authority over us. Yeah. You understand? And they despise us. Sure. So you're on shaky ground, and it don't matter what your gangster is. It don't matter how tough you is. They got the numbers. They got the handcuffs. They got the guns. They got the dogs. You cannot win. Your only objective is to do what you got to do to get off of there, which is a task in itself. You got to go 3 years charge free to get up, to be even put in to get off of there.
What is this prison called?
Wallace Ridge and Red Onion.
Wallace Ridge and Red Onion, Virginia.
Red Onion. They right beside each other. It's a washing machine, washer and dryer. If you get in a charge on Wallace Ridge, they send you to Red Onion. You got to stay on Red Onion for 2 or 3 years charge free to move back down. Then you move back down to Wallace Ridge. Then you got to stay on there 2 or 3 years charge free to even come back down to Flatland. Now, how you going to stay charge free when they just give you a charge? Because they say, oh, well, we ain't got enough charges this quarter. We got to write some charges. And they just walk around all day and write 20 charges. Oh, Johnny ain't stand for count. When you're standing at the door like this for count, oh, he ain't stand for count. Man, it's insane up there, bro.
Going back to when you had to stab this dude, which definitely, there's so much mitigating circumstance in that, because you'd seen somebody get brutally murdered like almost your first week inside. So you felt like this was self-defense, stabbing this dude. Definitely. So the turtles come and they wrap you up. Couldn't find the knife in your cell, I believe, right?
No.
Dumbasses.
Yeah.
Really?
Good hiding place, though.
Okay, good. Where'd you hide? Where'd you hide the knife?
Man, at the time, well, I don't know how the Fed says are, but okay, you know how you got the steel desk, right? Mm-hmm. Right behind the steel desk usually be a steel plate, this welded to the wall. This particular cell that I was in, it looked like it was welded to the wall, had the screws and everything, but you can literally get it, pull it out, and put the knife behind that, push it back, and it just looked like it's welded against the wall, and it never would be the wiser.
Some Shawshank Redemption type.
Never would be the wiser. I inherited that knife because it was a dude that did 20, 30 years. He was in that cell. He literally told me, I had this knife for 17 years. The knife was rusty, but it was official. It was thick as my finger, long, point on it and everything. And so a dude can get hepatitis, anything from it, even if he don't, you know what I'm saying?
Tetanus, yeah.
So he was like, boom, man, it's in there. He said, look, there's a hiding place in there behind the panel, man. You can get this, woo. So I was like, boom. So my initial plan was to get in the cell and just try to get it. But that's hard because you got to try to talk to the dudes and, man, let me get in your cell for a minute and then, but there ain't nobody going for that. You know what I'm saying? So I waited and I plotted and I told the dude, man, look, man, I'm trying to get the cell, man. I'm trying to buy that cell, man. Why? I'm going to be down there in the corner, man. I'm doing some things, woo. So I worked it out and I got in the cell. Now, I was in my mind, I'm like, man, this joint better be here. I done went through all I got in there, it was behind there, it was there. So I left it there, and I didn't have to use it until that incident. See, most dudes is walking around with that knife on them, or they flash it, or they show you, let you know it. They ain't gonna do nothing to you. They just want you to be scared and want to keep that weight off of them. You should never show that Bethlehem until you're gonna use it. And when you pull it out, it's supposed to come back with some blood on it, or you should not never pull it out. So I knew once I got it out, I was gonna use it. I knew it, you know what I'm saying? Because like I say, the threat was there. And I'm looking at the fact that this man a murderer. This man is a behemoth. I'm not playing with this joker. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, once when I saw what you said in the wall, when I seen the dude get killed, man, within my first week in there, I'm not even gonna lie to you, bro. It shook me up. It shook me.
Well, that was a piece of trauma that when I when I listened to it on a different podcast, you told that story. I mean, I was sweating afterwards. Like and you were 19 years old and you saw this guy. Well, tell us what happened and then we'll finish up with.
I was on the phone, man, and you know, in the Wall, it's the oldest prison in Virginia.
It's called the Wall?
It's called the Wall. It was the oldest prison in Virginia. It's called 500 Spring Street.
What part of Virginia?
Richmond.
Okay.
Capital of Virginia.
Already not a good place.
No,
there's a lot. Richmond is hood.
Bro, I could literally look out of my window and see people walking up and down the street. From my prison window, bro, that's like torture in itself. Yeah. You see free people, they like right there, you just can't reach them. It's like, and women used to walk by and flash you and, you know, bend over. And,
that's nice.
And it's nice, but that is like 100 feet away and you can't, you know, it was crazy. I'd never forget it because it was literally a house in front of my cell where this dude, a little boy, he couldn't have been no more than 12 or 13. He had a go-kart. And he used to ride that go-kart and then he'd disappear in like a trail in the woods. He'd go all the way around and come out and he'd just come out and he'd go back in. He'd just be riding. And I just sit there and watch him for hours and hours and hours and wish I could do it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So
we also have a lot of bad in Virginia prisons because they come from a lot of hard-ass places and there's a lot of murderers and a lot of just hard rocks. I don't know what else to say.
The Wall had them all. And that they had them all. That's where all of them was housed. This is the worst of the worst. This is where it's at. And they put me in there, man, for a fight straight from receiving. A fist fight. No weapons, no nothing. They put me there. So I'm here and now I'm in the thick of it. I'm in prison. This is prison. Receiving, one thing. This is prison. And I'm seeing all this stuff going on around me and I'm already like nervous, pervers, and I'm like, man, this is crazy. Dudes is walking around. Like I say, dudes don't really walk around with the knife on. Yeah. Oh, they did in there. They did in there. They have a coat on like this with no shirt on and knife sticking out this way, knife sticking out that way. The whole time I was there, Johnny, I never had a shakedown. They don't even come check. So everybody is scrapped. Right. You understand? So I'm like, man, this is crazy. So I'm on the phone. And this big dude, man, he was built and everything big, had long dreads. He's just walking up and down the T. I've noticed everything around me. When I get on the phone, I'm like this on the phone. I'm watching the pod, but my back is to the wall. So it's like 30, 40 phones on the wall. The pod is like extremely long. It's like, the wall is built like Shawshank Redemption block. These bars, it's not doors. So everybody is out there and he walking up and down. People is walking back and forth. They chatting, they kicking it. And then he just come down one time and this dude coming up and he coming up. He just pull that joint out, man, and just said, yeah. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then the dude fall down and he just, damn. And I'm thinking, Nick, he beating this out this dude. And then I started seeing blood. And I'm looking close and I said, oh, he got a knife in his hand. So it just, in my mind, is like immediate terror. I'm like, God damn, I ain't never seen nobody get stabbed like that. Like that vicious, like, and I'm like, what the f-? And I'm like, boom, and I'm talking to my mom and I can hear my mom saying, hey, Banky. And I'm like, I'm not saying it. I'm like frozen. I'm like looking at this. I'm like, what the f-? And then dude, he just stopped. And dude was just down there and he just pulled it out. He just started walking in the tea and he tucked it and he's just walking. And dude was just like laying down there and gargling and blood and trying to get up. He's trying to set up. Yeah. He can't even set up. And I'm seeing this and it's like up under him is like a pool of blood just getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And I'm like, man, what the f-? And yeah, somebody will tell you who's just trying to come over here and be hard or whatever like they want. I was scared to death. I ain't got no weapon. I ain't got shit. I'm like, man, what they doing up in this month? You know, and ain't nobody doing nothing. Ain't nobody trying to help them. People walking around them. Then they say, you know, you see footprints of blood because they walking in the blood and the blood is all up and down the tier. It's laying down there dying, man, and y'all ain't even trying to help this dude.
There's no guards, no emergency.
Nobody ain't came on that motherfucker. They didn't come on there till we locked up and they dragged him up out of there, man, and got him up out of there. You know what I'm saying? So I saw that and in my mind, I'm like, God damn, Bank, that could be you. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, and dude ain't even get locked up.
So they didn't even arrest the guy?
Hell no. Who gonna tell on him? So I'm seeing what the playing field is. So I'm like, oh, yeah. So at that point in time right there, that's when you got to decide what you gonna do. How you gonna do this? I'm sitting on 2 L-notes. Yeah. I ain't even a year and a half in. Right. I'm like, man, bro. So I would be lying if I tell you, I'd be lying if I tell you suicide ain't crossed my mind, bro. That crossed my mind, bro. I said, man, I can't live like this, bro. There's no way I can live like this. For however long, and I don't even know how long. I don't even know if I'm even gonna get out. So it crossed my mind, man. I'm talking about for a minute, dog. And I was like, damn. Then I started thinking about my family. I started thinking about my kids, and I'm like, damn, bro. So it's like it's gonna force you to make a decision on what you gonna do, you know. And I'm like, man, bro. I started thinking about my uncle, man, you know, and what he said to me, and I'm like, bro, if somebody kill me, bro, they going with me. They just going with me, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to die. I definitely don't want to die, but I'm not gonna be like him. I'm not gonna just let somebody stab me to death and I can't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I made it in my mind. I said, I'm gonna get me a knife, man. I'm gonna get me a goddamn knife. And I remember this dude down on the bottom tee. I remember when I first came in and I heard this, that, and the third about him since I done been in there. And they said, man, he the man, like, he like Red on Shawshank. Anything you want, he can get that. Anything. He already been down like 30 years. His name was P.I. He got everything. He got boy sleep right beside him. That's his boy. He got a boy sleep on the other side of him. He right here. He loaning the police real money. And with interest, he selling this. This boy is crocheting and selling Afghans to the police and scarves and sweaters and to inmates. And this dude writing letters to 5 and 6 different women, getting money sent in. He like the dude.
Oh, he's the mayor.
He's the guy. And he can get his door open and closed whenever he want to. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to holler at him. Right. So I go down there and holler at him. I was like, man, hey, man, let me holler at you. He was like, what you want? Fast talking, old guy. I said, man, I just want to ask you something. He was like, what? I was like, man, I need a knife. He said, you got some money? I said, I can get some. He said, I'm talking about cash money. I said, I can get it. He said, well, talk to me when you get some money. I said, when you want it. He said, as soon as you can get it. Other than that, I don't know. You ain't talking. So I'm like, all right. I went in that visiting room that weekend, and I got the money, and I came back. And I came back in, and I was like, boom, I went straight to his cell. He on the bottom floor. We come in, we on the bottom. I go straight to his cell. I was like, look, hey, man, I got that thing, man. He was like, what you got? I said, I got the money. He said, cash? I said, yeah. He said, let me see it. So I'm like, man, I get his money. He behind this door. You know what I'm saying? So I said, boom, I showed him. He said, no, put your hand in the bars. So I put my hand in the bars. And he said, put it in my hand. I put it in there. He look at it. I don't know what the hell he thinking, like it's counterfeit. How you gonna know? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But he get it and everything.
How much cash is it?
I get him $50 bill.
Yeah.
That's all it takes. And then,
That's
that's
so wild.
Money.
Most people get paid like, I'm gonna have my people on the outside send it to your people.
Yeah.
But in the South, it's cash in prison. That is so crazy.
Yeah, got cash, man. It's like where I was at in Virginia, it's double. If you got $20, it's worth 40. If you got 50, it's worth 100.
Yeah.
You know, but they gonna use that to swindle with the police.
Right.
You know. So I give him the money, and he said, put your hand back in the bars. Put my hand in the bars. I got my coat on, and he take a paper bag and he push it in my sleeve. And he said, all right, go ahead, man, get on away from cell. I said, all right. So I could feel him. I'm like, boom, I get up to my cell, and shit, I had to wait for the police to come to open. I'm out there for like 2 hours, right? Waiting for the police to open my cell. They open my cell. I go in, they leave. Right? Wait, I pull that, boy, Johnny, when I pull that joint out, boy, I said, good God almighty. The jagged edge, it was a real knife.
Right.
Rubber grip, compass on like the Rambo. So I'm like, dang. I said, okay, so I'm all up in the cell like what is it? Boys in the hood. When you ain't
yeah.
I'm like, I'll kill one of y'all.
Trey,
you pull up on me, I'll kill. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, boom. And just like I had that thought, man, it was like, man, it probably was 30 seconds later. And I was like in there, and I'm all in my cell, like, man, I'm stabbing. And I said, oh, and I look at that joint, and I said, damn. I just got here. And this is what I could buy for $50. Yeah. And I said, what the hell they got out there?
Right.
And then I got scared again.
Dude, it's like Aladdin, King of Thieves. It's like you guys got swords on you. These are like sabers.
Yeah. And I'm looking at this and I'm saying, you know, you got to be real with yourself. I'm saying, if somebody stab me with this, I'm probably gone. If it get me right, I'm probably gone. If I ain't gone, I'm so messed up, I probably wish I was gone. Yeah. You know, so I'm like, if I could get this off the rip, this is the first thing I could get. What they working with out here? So it just, it put some more fear in me.
Sure.
So I'm like, damn. So then I was like, okay, all right. Say something to you, they pose a threat, just move. Just move. You know what I'm saying? If you coming at me with any type of food, just move. I don't wait. Right. Because I can't get hit. My whole thing was I didn't want to get stabbed. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to get stabbed because I ain't know what would happen to me if I get stabbed. And I seen that dude and I said, no mercy. I ain't want to be in that position. Mm-hmm. So it made me like, you know, I'm ready to jump the gun like anytime.
Preemptive violence.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, come on with it if you want to. So it was crazy, man. It was just, I just can remember all those emotions just going through me, man. It was just a trying time for me, bro. Yeah. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I was, yeah, man.
So how long after you got your first piece of steel did this incident where you ended up having to stab the dude happen?
Big Raymond probably a year and a half later.
And was this at the wall?
Nope.
Different facility.
They shut the wall down. They shut it down.
Right. And makes sense.
And they send me to Augusta.
Okay.
So I go to Augusta and I'm on there probably less than a year, probably 9 to 10 months before this happened.
Okay. So the cops can't find the bloody knife. It's in the wall. But they gaffle you up and they send you to the hole.
Yeah.
And they're leaning on you.
Heavy.
And man,
heavy.
You stayed solid. You did not tell on yourself.
Hell no. That's one thing I already know. First of all, you do not tell. before the first of all, you definitely don't tell on yourself.
Deny.
I'm in prison.
Yeah.
What else you gonna do to me? So you're telling me, tell us where the knife is, make it better for yourself. The man is getting ready to die. It's gonna be bad for you. You going to the lecture chair. Man, I ain't do nothing. You got the wrong dude. You know it's you. And they screaming at me, they yelling at me, and I'm scared. I ain't gonna lie, I was scared. I was scared as on what? Hot beating out of my chest. But I'm not gonna say, wear the knife right. Man, I'm not doing that. I literally, I know it sounds like some kid stuff, but I literally said, man, let me call my mom, man. I said, man, let me call my mom, man, because y'all got me here. And the warden literally told me, man, your mom can't do nothing for you. You in prison. I said, man, I need to call somebody because y'all trying to put something on me that I didn't do. He said, you did it. We know you did it. And he pulled out a whole handful of notes and threw them. He said, everybody say you did it. And I'm like, damn, this is
That's what people were just snitching on you right away.
Hell yeah, they was trying to come off lock, bro. My same homeboy that I told you I'm waiting to get out, boo, literally told me when I got out, well, another dude ended up getting locked up like a month or two later. He came in the hole. He told me, he said, man, when they was looking for the knife and they came in there and said, y'all ain't coming off lock till we find that knife. So y'all can just stay on lock. Don't worry about it, whatever. So he said, dudes start hollering out, man, somebody just throw the knife out, man, so we get off lock, man. Right. Man, it's already over, man. Throw it out. And Boo got on the gate, said, I wish one of y'all would throw it out. They trying to get that man a murder charge, man. Y'all talking about throwing a knife out, man. Y'all some cowards. Better not nobody throw it out there. You know what I'm saying? So they was literally, you locked up and these dudes don't want to stay behind the door, dog.
How long are you locked up in your cell after somebody gets stabbed?
Man, it all depends.
It all depends, right?
Yeah, it all depends. If somebody gets stabbed real bad, that pod might be locked down for about anywhere from 4 days to a week. You
That's
know
it?
What I'm saying? Yeah, 4 days to a week. In the wall, when old boy got killed,
yeah,
but we was out next day.
Right. Okay, so how long had you guys been locked down when you stabbed Big Raymond?
Oh, we had been locked down like 2 weeks prior to that because we was on the big shakedown.
Okay.
So we come out. And that's when all of this stuff happened. So I put them right back on lock.
Right. So guys are upset. They're claustrophobic. Yeah. Everybody's stressed out.
They're like, we just came off lock, man.
Right.
Then you got us locked back down again.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it was crazy. It just was the timing when it happened. Yeah. But don't try to throw me under the bus for that. They was them people was trying to give me a murder charge. They saying the man gonna die. The man was on life support for like 40-some days. If he had died, I got a murder charge. Yeah. And y'all gonna give him the knife. You see what I'm saying?
So people are still sending snitch kites though, right?
Yeah. They wrote and they said, they told him, I seen all the Jones. I ain't see all of them, but I saw a whole handful of them, but I read a couple of them. He said, read them. And literally said, oh, dude up there in 122 did it. Yeah, the short dude on the bottom bone, he stabbed him in the paw. Yeah.
And they're showing you who snitched on you.
And
like
I
these
never
people
did
are
nothing to these people, man. I never do. But I learned this too, though, Johnny, as I moved on in my bit. People don't want you around them when they know you will produce violence. You know why? Because I might have an issue with you one day, and then you know what my work is, so they don't want you around them. So when you get in those type of situations, they will drop notes on you because they're like, oh, man, I deal with Banky, man. I borrow from his store box, or I talk to him, or I play poker with him. What if one day the business ain't right? This is what he gonna do to me? Oh, I don't want him around me. Oh, he did it. That's what they do. I learned that as I went on.
No, most people are terrified of violence.
They don't,
myself included. I really hate it.
Yeah.
And so just doing one act like you did earns you respect forever.
And it's like, they didn't want me around them no more. And I was surprised. I was like, damn, man, I thought I ain't had no problem with nobody in the block. But obviously, they felt different. You know what I'm saying? So it was surprising to me, but I stuck to my guns, bro. I said, I ain't do nothing. And nah, bro, I was literally crying, man. I'm in there because I got all these officers standing around me. I'm in a cell. They pressuring me. They got pressure on me. They got the 2-3 of them behind them with the Ninja Turtle suits on, so they ready to whoop me if I, you know what I'm saying? You got the warden in my cell, and I'm like, man, I ain't do nothing. They said, we just want to know where the knife is. That's all you got to do is tell us. I don't know where it's at. I didn't do it. They said, he said you did it. I got letters saying you did it. I said, I didn't do it, man. I didn't do it. I promise you I didn't do it. And they just was on me, man. Then they just ended up leaving. And I was laid in that cell, bro, and I literally was praying for dude. I was like, please don't die. Please don't die. I know they gonna, they gonna crush me. You know what I'm saying? I just saw myself being in an electric chair, and then I just started thinking in my mind, like, man, my mom will go crazy. Man, my family will go crazy. I'm gonna get an electric chair. I'm gonna get and it was like nightmares, bro, nightmares. And it was months and months before an officer came to me and told me, he said, man, he made it, man. I was like, yeah. He was like, yeah. It was one of them that was just wanted to be cool and tell me. He ain't had no reason to tell me, but he just told me. And bro, I was like, oh. And next thing you know, I got a warrant to go to court. You know what I'm saying? He was charging me with it, and he said he was coming. And I was like, damn, all right, well, shit, I ain't going to lecture chair, though. You know what I'm saying? I got 2 life sentences. I ain't going to lecture chair, though. So it was more like that.
What was the charge?
Shit.
Assault with a deadly weapon or attempted murder?
No, they gave me attempted murder, and they gave me malicious wound.
Malicious what?
Malicious wound.
Malicious wound.
Yeah.
That's an interesting charge. I've never heard of that.
You never heard of malicious wound?
No.
Oh, my God. Malicious wound is when you maim or hurt somebody bad enough where it could have took their life. And in Virginia, you get 20 to life for that. Do you know I did 33 years? Do you know I know a dude that had a malicious wound? He shot a guy. The guy ain't died, but he became a paraplegic. I was on my 30th year. He was on 31. And he only had malicious wound. Yeah, in Virginia, they will
hang you.
Yeah, you'll do more time for a malicious wound, or you'll do equal enough time with a malicious wound as you do for murder.
As a body.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So, all right. So he's there to tell on you. Do you have a lawyer?
A court-appointed lawyer.
Court-appointed lawyer?
Court-appointed. I ain't even gonna lie to you, man. I ain't gonna hold you, man. My mama probably see this and that. But I was scared to even tell my people. I was scared to even tell them, bro.
I get that.
I ain't want to even tell them, bro, to try to even get a lawyer. I was just too scared to tell them, and I just ain't want them to be worried, and I ain't want them, I didn't want them in a way to think like I lost my mind in there or something, like I'm just going crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I ain't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? I just went with the court-appointed lawyer because in my mind I'm saying, what's the worst they gonna do to me? I got 2 life sentences, and I'm gonna be honest with you, if they would give me like a life sentence or something like that where I couldn't get out, I won't even want to tell my people because I just didn't want to worry them like that. You know what I'm saying? But he came in there acting like the big dummy that he was. And
Big Raymond.
I got, yeah.
Big dummy Raymond.
Dummy Raymond. You know what I'm saying? And I ended up getting out of that. You know what I'm saying? But I realized in life too, man, karma will always come back to you. Yeah. Because later on down the line, and I had another charge, and man, I'm getting 15 years for it. And that was something that I felt like I could have beat. So it's just, you can't get away from what you do, man. You just can't.
Nobody gets away with anything.
Nobody gets away. You think you do, but it comes back to you when you least expect it, and it's going to come back to you on some other stuff. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, but it was an experience for me, man. It was.
Okay, so you beat that. We didn't even discuss, for the people that don't know you, what you're even doing in prison. We just got into these riveting stories, and I'm sweating again. But you were, as a teenager, I don't even think got involved in dope, even though you were in D.C. at the height of the crack years. You weren't even selling crack. You just started doing stick-ups with your co-D, with your man.
Yeah. Dumb juvenile thinking that you smarter than everybody else. And my philosophy was listening to him, which became my philosophy. I can't blame him because I was with it. Everything that he was with, I was with it. But we just came up with the dumb ideas like, man, why we gonna stand on the corner and sell dope or do this? We could just go wait for they sell it and just go rob them.
But that's what a lot of people were doing in those days.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of money in robbing drug dealers because they had a lot of money.
Right, but we young as hell, and it's not only is it a lot of money in doing it, it's a lot of danger in doing it. Them people will hunt you down and murder you. They will murder your family. You know what I'm saying? They done been out there. I understand this now, but then I didn't. People been out there risking life, limb, and liberty to get this money, and you think you gonna just come take it with no consequences? That's asinine thinking. But we wasn't thinking like that. Man, we literally watch drug dealers, man, for weeks and stuff, and just watch where they go to take the money when they do, just so we can roll down on them. You know what I'm saying? We literally watch prostitutes get money, and watch the pimp that they go get it to so we can go get him.
Right.
And we young and stupid as hell, man.
Right.
These people is trying to kill us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And this is the 80s. This is when DC is the murder capital. So literally you're trying this in the murder capital on the most dangerous dudes.
Bruh.
Yeah,
and
that is immature.
It's immature, is foolish as hell, and I'm literally playing sports, trying to box, and working at the same time. I'm selling clothes. I'm literally dressed up every day after school up in here selling clothes. I worked at a clothing store called Cavaliers. I'm selling clothes, right? And I'm up in this joint one day, and I'm part-time because I'm in school, but I'm like one of the best salesmen. Yeah. He literally, my boss, with his, F him to this day, because I think back now to it, he tried to get me to quit school. I was selling clothes so good. He was like, man, you go full-time, you can make more money. You trying to encourage a kid to quit school. You know what I'm saying? But I couldn't because my mom would have busted my head over. But I remember him doing that, and I think back on it, I'm like, that was a hell of a play you was trying to do to me. But... And I'm in there and I'm selling clothes, man. I'm so good as people, talking to the people, like getting them to buy stuff. And this dude came in there, man. He was a pimp. And he had like 4 or 5 girls with him. And I'm waiting on them. And they picking out clothes and giving it to him. And I'm giving it to him and taking them to the dressing room to try them on. And that joker just kept looking at me. He kept looking at me. The girls talking to him and he looking at me. And they like, daddy, he like, yeah, what's up? He kept looking, and I could feel it. And I'm looking at him, I'm like, did I rob this? And I'm in my mind, I'm like, boom. And that joker went in to try on a pair of pants, and he opened the door and handed the pants out and told the girl, get him another size. And he said, man, where I know you from? And man, my whole voice changed. I was like, man, you don't know me. He was like, I know you from somewhere, dog. Your face look familiar. I don't forget face. I said, nah, you don't know me, man. He said, you be over Northeast? I said, no. I said, I go to school, man.
Yeah, you're just a kid.
Yeah, I said, I go to school, bro. I said, I just work here. I go to school. He was like, you look familiar, though. And the girl came back and interrupted the conversation. And, bro, I peeled off so fast, and I was getting ready to panic. I was getting ready to go to this other dude to work with and said, man, I got to use the bathroom, man. Go wait on dude. And that's what I was getting ready to do. But he had somebody. But that was my plan because I was like, I must have robbed this joker here. And he recognized me. So, bro, he ended up getting a whole rack of stuff. And then they left. But he just kept looking at me. And in my mind, I said, when I get off work, this sucker gonna be out there. I was scared to get off work, bro.
Yeah.
I was scared.
So you were doing a lot of robberies then if you couldn't even for sure remember that you had robbed someone.
We was robbing like we was Robin Hood, man. We was stupid. Then we was doing dumb stuff. We go rob together. And we go gamble against each other for all the money.
Oh, come on.
You know. We go play one-on-one basketball. We bowing each other, fighting, win money. Then we mad at each other, and then we'll go shoot pool. We just try everything. It's the greed, bro. We just did this crime together, and then we trying to beat each other out the money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It was stupid, man. I mean, now I can see it, but then I couldn't see it because it was times I won most of the time. So I used to be thinking, man, he gonna try to do something to me, and he won a few times because I used to be thinking I want to do something to him. You know, so it's just crazy. It's just the stupidity that you be in, and that's why I be trying to tell these youngest today, man, bro. We be bro, we be just moving so backwards, man, and we just don't even know it, man. We just be doing so much dumb stuff because we don't know no better, and then we so hard-headed, we don't even want to listen to the people that's been where we been and telling us some good game. Like, bro, what you doing, it ain't gonna get you nowhere. But in our mind, we be like, man, you don't know what you talking about, you old. No, bro, they know what they talking about because they old. You know? But, man, yeah, bro.
Well, there's also the times, just to not to justify it, but, you know, the 80s were in urban America was an exceptional time.
Yeah.
So it affected everybody. And that's why DC was one of the murder capitals, because you have all of these disparate, unorganized groups of people that are like amateur criminals.
Yeah.
Like, you guys weren't Omar from The Wire, like killers. You guys weren't, I don't even think you used loaded guns half the time, right? Weren't you using like...
Well, no. When we first started, which was even more crazy when you think about it, but we ain't had no bullets in the gun. He was stealing his step-pop's guns for us to use, but his step-pops had the guns, but he didn't have the bullets with him. So he would take the guns, you know, and we go out and pull these joints. We ain't got no bullets, bro.
Right.
If somebody buck on us, we done.
Yeah.
But I'm listening to him, and he telling me, bro, ain't nobody gonna buck when you put the gun in their face. They scared, bro. They just gonna get... And I went with that. But in retrospect, if somebody... No, man, you know, we done, bro. So it was just like, it was just dumb stuff I was doing, bro. And
So somebody bucked eventually.
Oh yeah. Somebody bucked eventually, and you know, when I eventually went to prison, that was MVA. And you know, like I say, me and him, we ended up separating. I just was talking to Zoe Pound, shout out to Ali, yesterday, and I was telling him about the situation. Like, the dude that I started doing this with, he was from New York. One night the cops got down on us, right? We had pulled a move and the cops got down on us. So we was running, they was behind us, they was down on us. And he went one way, I went one way. I got away. They caught him, right? And he ended up having to get bond, and his people bond him out. And they sent him back to New York and hit him. He didn't ever go to trial. To my understanding, they sent him to New York and they hit him. And I never saw him again.
What do you mean they hit him?
They hit him like, we in D.C. You got this case. You get bonded out. He skipped bond. He left. They sent him back to New York. And I never seen him again.
Oh, so he might have...
Yeah. He just disappeared. He just skipped bond and never came back. You know what I'm saying? He was living in D.C. His family was living. They had moved from New York to D.C. That's how I met him.
Right.
So when he get this case and he locked up, and he never mentioned my name at all. So I'm in school and he not in school no more. Everybody like, where he at? I know where he at. He locked up. But he ended up making bond, and they sent him back to New York or wherever they sent him.
Oh, I see.
He just skipped and he was gone.
So the crime that you committed that led you to prison was with a different person.
It was a different dude.
Okay.
So once he was gone, I'm dolo. I'm by myself.
Yeah.
So then when I'm coming down here to Virginia in the summer times, now I got this habit of getting money.
Right.
So I started doing it down here. Then I knew some dudes down here, and I got some of them in the mix with me, and found out some of them was already robbing. So I'm like, okay. So boom, so we doing this, and then this is when the incident happened that caused us, me to be incarcerated.
What city was that?
This was in Petersburg, Virginia.
Petersburg, Virginia.
Petersburg, Virginia.
And you guys really are like wolves. You're tracking people.
Yeah.
You're on the hunt.
Yeah, you're just looking for
a Vic.
Yeah, you're looking for a Vic. You looking for more or less. You're looking for a Vic. You looking for places that, because I eventually went from, because it ain't no pimps and all of that type of stuff down in Virginia, not where I was at. So then you start looking for businesses that generate a lot of money, that's got lack security, stuff like that. You just start looking, you know what I'm saying? And he was down here more than me, so he knew places, so I'm following his lead. And one night, one of these situations popped off, and somebody bucked And
So you guys were planning to rob a guy who might not even been a criminal, I don't think.
yeah, I mean,
He just had a bunch of jewelry and you thought he had money.
A lot of people, yeah,
he was at a hotel.
This was at a hotel.
80s were different before cameras, dude.
Was different, man. Yeah, no cameras, all that crazy stuff, and situation got out of hand, and guns got pulled, and shots got let off, and I left. I'm gone out of there because I'm still going on the D.C. stuff. Like, I don't need no bullets in the gun because I ain't gonna shoot nobody.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But he got bullets in the gun.
You're Cody.
Yeah, he got bullets in the gun, and the people that's bucking got bullets in the gun. Mm-hmm. So I'm gone. And situation happened, and he get gone, and we literally get away. We get away. And it's like literally months later. And they locked some other people up for the crime. They literally locked up, charging 2 people with this another reason to show you how crooked the system is. So they locked these 2 people up and they charged them with the crime. I cannot tell you to this day, probably never be able to tell you whatever got in his mind where he felt like it was gonna come out or whatever. I don't know. He went down to the police station and turned himself in.
You're Cody.
Yep. Said it wasn't them, it was him, and it was me. And I was the ringleader, and he turned himself in. And they sent whatever you want to call it, John Gotti and everybody come get me. And it came and got me and locked me up. And I sat there and still was going by what I think in my mind. I don't know what he talking about. I ain't do nothing. Woo. Them people saying, I guess they saying like, well, he trying to be hard or whatever. And he testified on me.
Saying you pulled the trigger.
Yeah.
When you didn't even have bullets in your gun.
Didn't even have bullets in my gun. And another dude that was his, I won't want to say cousin, but they related because dude got babies by his people or whatever. He ended up getting caught while we waiting to go to trial. He ended up getting caught for some robberies himself. And he took a plea deal to say, I know what they was doing because they used to tell me. And he came and testified on me as well. Right, so it looked like I'm the one saying that I ain't do nothing, and they lying, and woo. And people gave me, the first trial I went to, I think they gave me life, 115 years. He took a plea bargain. I want to say he got like 60, 70 something years. And the other dude that came in on the back end to testify, I think he got like 20 some years. Well, I know my Cody ended up doing, I did 33. I think he did like 20, 25, 26. Mm-hmm. Ain't no big deal.
So he didn't save a lot of time. You know and now he's got the snitch jacket following her everywhere. Yeah.
The other dude, he did like 16, 17. He out now. He had got out. The one did 16, 17. He on some other stuff. I don't even want to talk about him. Just say still police stuff. And my Cody, man, he just passed away probably, I want to say 2-3 months ago. He had some bad health issues, and he just passed away like 3 months ago.
Some bad what?
He had some bad health issues.
Oh, okay.
You know, he had some, the whole time we was in prison, I used to hear about he was real sick in prison. I don't want to misquote him, but I think he had leukemia or something. Oh. And I know he was real sickly in prison. And when I first got locked up, man, after all that stuff happened, I really wanted to do something to him. Mm-hmm. I really did. And I used to say that, if I ran across him, then that was going to be my last day in prison because they probably won't kill me because I was going to do something to him. But I did run across him, man, early. And I seen him, man, and I talked to him and I pulled up on him, and he was just giving me all this. And they made me do it. They was telling me I was going to get an electric chair, and he ended up writing a statement and said that they pressured him to do, but it was too late.
Go finish with that, what you were saying, though. He wrote a statement to the DA?
He wrote a statement to my lawyer, wrote a statement to the DA, said he was pressured in the line, and, he did this and that, and, I was with him, but I didn't pull no trigger. He did all of that. But it was too late, you know what I'm saying? you've been locked up. You should know one thing about the system is, where especially down there, one of the hardest things to do, man, is get something overturned, whether you're right, wrong, or indifferent. Once it's been tried and convicted, it's one of the hardest things in the world to do. So the paperwork was, it just fell on deaf ears. It didn't help me at all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But you should have done it at the trial. That's when you do it.
You shouldn't have did it at all.
Of
because
course.
You should have just stood on what you stood on. You know what me and you was doing. You should have just stood on it.
Well, it's interesting because he actually did the right thing. He was overcome with guilt when they arrested two innocent people initially for the crime, but then he caved and did a really bad thing.
Thinking you was going to get like a significant amount of less time when you actually only did like 6 or 7 years less than me. You see what I'm saying? So I remember, I think a conversation that I had with him scared him so much that he still thought I was going to do something to him. And he eventually went to the people and he got moved. So he got moved immediately, like within a day or two. So I didn't see him no more for like years and years later. And
have you forgiven him?
Yeah, man.
Of course,
because I understand that, everybody ain't built the same. You know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't built the same. You might do the same thing, don't mean you built the same. So I understand, man, he was under pressure and that pressure was too much for him. They did it to me. When I was getting locked up, they was bringing up some stuff that wasn't even no way possibly true. Oh, well, we know you was doing it. You better tell us now because you was doing it with your brother, and we know that your wife was involved, and we know that and we're gonna lock them all up. And I'm like, in my mind, just rational thinking, I know they won't, so you can't.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, well, do what you gotta do, man, because I don't know nothing about this stuff. But they was pushing at me, so he probably. I think about that, and I'm like, he probably could not take that. He wasn't able to. But me, I'm just locked in on like, no. You know what I'm saying? So, I forgave him, man. And then I remember I was ended up on another institution, like I say, years and years later. And it was the biggest institution in Virginia. It got 3 prisons in one. There's like one right here, one right here, one right here. They just right there. And if you get transferred from here to there, it's like being transferred to another prison. So I was here and he was here. And I had been in trouble here, and they moved me here. And I got in trouble here, they moved me back here. And I was in trouble here, and they ain't know where to send me. And I was trying to go over there, and I couldn't because he had me on the enemy list.
Right.
And I had some people over there, some family over there. And I told them, man, they got me in the hole. They won't let me out because I can't go here or here no more. Only place I can go is here. I can't come out because dude got me on the enemy list. So he pulled up on them. And he was like, man, you got Bank still on the enemy list for, man. What y'all did, that stuff over with, man. Come on, man. You helping these people, man. Get that man off list, man. Man ain't gonna do nothing to you, woo. And talk to him, and he took me off. And he let me out. And I go over there and I see him again. I have a conversation with him or whatever. I said, man, what's done is done. I can't do nothing about that, bro. You know what I'm saying? He apologized. He said this, that, and the third, and I let it be, And
now, can you walk the line? Can you walk the main line in a Virginia prison with a snitch jacket, with a sexual
When I first came in, you couldn't. When I first came in, you could not. You could not. They was going to slay you, man, and lay you. But as time went on, this is what I found out, too. This is what I come to understand. If you get that sack, they don't care if you told on their mama, if they a fiend and they want to get high. Because so few people can get that sack in on a regular basis. So you told on your homeboy, you told on this, and you come to prison, you got 8, 9, 10, but you getting that pack in. So if I want to hurt Johnny, because Johnny done told, but Johnny get that sack, I got to be able to hurt all these dope fiends.
Exactly.
And some of these dope fiends is killers.
Sure.
Some of these dope fiends want that get high. Yeah. And they gonna let you know, hey, man, dude told, man, he can't stay on the yard with me. He told on my homeboy. Bruh, leave him alone.
I'm on heroin.
Yeah, leave him alone, bro. He get that missile in, bro. Leave him alone, but that's on the street. Don't bring that street into the penitentiary, bro. And that's how they coming.
Right.
And you can buck that if you want to, but Bro, you up against some real stuff.
Yeah, and a junkie down on his habit is dangerous.
Yeah, bro. They would. So I learned and I started learning. And that was later because when I first came in, they ain't care. But as the time went on, bro, and it's sad to say, but if you telling on somebody out here, well, in Virginia anyway, if you tell and you go to prison, you better be able to get that sack in, because that's probably the only thing that's going to save. If you get that sack in, bro, so many dudes want to get high, and it's so many of them this vicious, just like that. And if you the plug, man, you good.
Right.
You know, and you done told on everybody. And you good. You can stay in your cell and do what you want to do, and as long as that sack keep coming. But if that sack stop coming, oh, you through. Yeah. You know, if your plug run out and you can't get it in, then you done.
You're no good to anyone.
You ain't no good to no one.
Okay, so you go in with 155 years, which is like absurd. You know, I
went in with life and 115.
Oh, okay. All right, gotcha.
It's still absurd.
Yeah. It's like a number.
Do you know somebody lived 115 years?
No, I mean, maybe an old Japanese guy.
115?
Yeah, 115.
Yeah, well, I ain't Japanese.
So black men don't live that long, especially not in Virginia back in those days. So but you could have gone, but your lawyer told you, take the deal because you don't have priors, and in 12 years you can go see the board.
Right.
So there's this like carrot sort of dangling out there. But what did you expect? Like, were you prepared mentally? Or like, I may never go home. I think I could die in prison. Like at 20 years old, did you process that?
No, because I listened to my lawyer like an idiot. And what my lawyer told me was, listen, at this time, which is some other Virginia BS, at this time in 87, they was implementing the 3-strike law. You get 3 charges of the same caliber, you're not eligible for parole. Whatever time you get, that's the number you got to do. 85% of it. I already got life, 115 years. I got to go up for some more robbery charges. Some I know about, rest of them, they just dump them on me.
Right.
So, he telling me, you get convicted of one of these. I got like 4, 5 of them to go to. One, they're going to put you under the no parole zone. So that means whatever time they're going to give you with this conviction and the 115 in the life, you done. Now, you could take a plea bargain for, first he said, for 3 life sentences, plus what I already got. Like, what? He said, you could take a plea bargain. He said, but you're going to go up for parole in 12 years. He said, in Virginia, anything over 48 years, life, whatever, 2 life, 3, you go up in 12 years.
Right.
He said, you never been convicted or nothing. Your record is clean. You're going to be all right. You go in, you stay out of trouble, you mind your business, you get in some classes, man, you be home in 12, 13 years.
That does sound like good advice.
It sounds good to an idiot who don't know the system. Number one, who do you know can go to prison and mind your business and don't get in no trouble? That's impossible. Trouble gonna knock on your door.
Especially in Virginia.
Right. It is gonna knock on your door. If you mind it, but I know Muslims, I know Christians, I know Buddhists, I know, it don't bother nobody. The trouble gonna come to you because if you minding your business, they gonna assume you soft. They gonna assume you weak. They gonna assume that you could be carried, you could be extorted. So it's gonna come to you. So there's no such thing as minding your business in prison and staying out of trouble. I didn't know that, so I'm listening to it and it sounds good. So I'm like, bro, I don't know, I'm scared because he's throwing his life stuff out there. That's a lot. So when he come back and he said, man, there's 2 life sentences, they're gonna consolidate everything. You're going up for parole in 12 years. If you don't take this, I'm telling you right now, you ain't never getting out. This you got a chance. You're never getting out, you're gonna fall under the 3-strike law. I took it. I had no choice, right? Fast forward, I get out in 2020. I get out in 2020. In 2019, I think 2019, they started applying the law saying that they started putting out lawsuits saying that the law was misappropriated for all of this time since it went in effect. The 3-strike law did not mean if you had 3 robbery charges, 3 murder charges. 3-strike law meant I get in trouble for a robbery, violent crime. I go to prison, I get out. I go back and get for another robbery. I get out, I go back. I go back for a murder. You got to go in, come out, go in, come out. 3-strike. They applied it as if you had 3 of the same charges.
Right. So in other words, they weren't allowed to just dump three on you in one adjudication.
Right. It had to be 3 different occasions.
I see.
But they applied that to multiple people.
Oh, thousands of people.
And people
probably
was in prison for 20, 30 years before they was doing it. And then they try to even correct that wrong by coming back and saying, all right, look, sign this paper saying you're not going to sue or whatever. We're going to start taking you up for parole. When I should have been going up, if I've been down 20 years, I should have been going up a year 12. If I've been down 30 years, I should have been going up a year 12. Now I got to sign something saying I'm not going to sue you to just go up, period.
Yeah, it's tough. Do you take that $5,000 a day?
You see what I'm saying?
Or, you know.
So it's like, oh, bro, that's what happened to me. So I could have not took the plea bargain and don't know what would happen, you know, but it was just crazy. But then by the end, I got out. I made parole in 2020.
Okay, so after you stabbed Big Raymond, he survived. You missed his heart, evidently, right?
Thankfully.
And you beat the case. Where do they shoot you after that?
Did I leave after the big? Yes, the Big Raymond Jones, I left because I already had prior incidents on there. They sent me to Mecklenburg, man.
Which is what?
The end all, the be all.
Really?
That's the last stop for you. Well before they did this Wallace Ridge Red Onion and all this stuff, that was the last stop for you right there, brother.
That's bad?
Yeah, that's where they had death row. That's where they only had a population of like maybe 150 in SEG, 150 on population. The rest was death row. All single cell, only 12 cells per block. Wow. Single cells. Everybody here was here for extreme violence within the system. So you're around everybody that's known to do something. So you ain't gonna be the Billy Badass or everybody. Everybody done put some work in.
Everybody's bad.
So that's why I ain't got but 6 people in the block.
Yeah.
That's why it's only single cell.
Right.
So send me up there. They justified it by saying, you know, the Southampton thing, prior incidents to this big, leading up to the Big Raymond thing in my time. So this is where he need to be. So I get there and they don't even want to let me out the hole. At first, I'm gonna say like a mug, man. Then they end up calling me into the warden's office. And I go in the warden's office from SEG with the warden, the major, and the lieutenant. And I never forget it. I go in there with handcuffs and shackles on from segregation. The warden, I swear to God, I am not lying. There's people that can vouch for it. He looked just like Luther Vandross. Less like Luther Vandross.
Handsome son of a gun.
Yeah, his hair and everything. You know, the slim Luther. Yeah, I go up in that joint and they said, these suckers in there drinking coffee and eating donuts. So they set me down and they started talking to me and they was like, you want to go in the yard? I was like, yeah. It was like, okay. Well, we done raised your file. We know what's going on with you. We gonna let you out on the yard. But you sure you want to go? I'm like, yeah. It's okay. Well, let me tell you this. It's killers out there too. It's a lot of them. And I don't care if you kill any one of them. But if you put your hands on one of my officers in any way, shape, form, or fashion, if we don't kill you, you're going to spend the rest of your time in the hole segregation right here. And you got life sentences. And I mean the rest of your life in that hole. He said, I can do it. He said, you believe me? I said, yeah. He said, I just want to make sure. And then the major say, "Oh, he ain't playing. Yeah, you can go out there. Everybody out there, everybody's on the same thing you on. But don't touch that one of my officers, man." That's all they cared about. That was it. And it was eerie, man. It was like spooky.
Totally.
And I'm like this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he eating donuts and drinking. I'm like, what the, So he said, "You got anything you want to say?" I said, "Nah." He said, "All right, we're gonna let you out." He said, "You be out by next week." He said, "Remember what I told you?" I said, "Okay." And in my mind, when I got back to my cell, I was like, these officers on this joint must be real disrespectful or something if that's all he worrying about. But come to find out, when I got out there, they won't. They was the most respectful officers that anybody I've been around. Because they know who they dealing with.
Of course.
But he just wanted to implant that in my mind, like, I don't care how mad you get, don't put your hands on them because he just wanted his job security.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I just, as I went on in my bed, I was like, that was weird as hell. But he let me out there, man, and that's basically for real, where I met all of the killers and the willers and the dealers and the Virginia legends. They was all there. Oh, and I'm like one of the youngest ones there. So, and then this was so crazy. They knew who I was and what I did, because it's like a prison pipeline.
Yeah.
When I got there, I'll never forget one of the legends of Virginia penal system. His name is Shorty Pimp. Shorty Pimp was like, "Hey, what's up, man?" I said, "What's happening?" He was like, "Oh, yeah, where you just come from?" I said, "I come from Augusta. Why, what's up?" He said, "Oh, yeah, you bank, right? You the one stay that old big joker up there on Augusta, ain't it?" I was like, because in my mind, I'm like, damn, do you know him? But it was like they knew.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it was crazy, man. But out of all the places I've been, man, and to be honest, that's gonna be like Wall and that's like the most violent. But Mecklenburg, for some reason, is like one of my favorite spots. Because everybody knew what was going on.
Yeah.
Ain't no whole lot of, I don't know what y'all call it. We use it like, we call it like ass snatching, but it's basically it's like selling wolf tickets. Ain't no whole lot of that going on. Ain't no whole lot of that going on. Somebody owe you, they gonna pay you.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody calling you, no B word. Ain't nobody coming outside it because they know what's coming behind it.
Yeah.
So it was like, and you got your single sale.
Yeah.
So it was like one of the best places I really went. And in my YouTube right now, it's literally an officer to be in my chat, you know what I'm saying, all the time, man. And he was an officer there when I was there.
Wow.
And he be vouching for a lot of stuff I be saying. He was like, yeah, I remember. And he been in my chat for like 3 years. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man.
So is that where you learned your hustle? How long did you spend there?
3.5 years.
Okay. What did you do now that you're kind of tucked in? You're growing up, you're learning the game, you've got your stripes, obviously, from being violent. What do you do to hustle?
Poker. Worst one.
Poker?
Poker, man. It's probably the worst habit that I picked up in prison. I wish I hadn't because of all the stuff that came behind it, but man, I can't lie to you. I was addicted. The money, when you're winning, the money is so good.
Right. Gambling in prison is crazy.
Bro,
it's just behind drugs.
I played poker or just say gambling period. I shot dice too. Dice and poker was my choice of gambling, and I probably did that every day for 26 years or better.
Wow. Okay, so you were really addicted, but really good too.
Yeah.
Okay, so would you organize poker games?
I ran poker games. I got in poker games. I ran dice games. I got in dice games. I ran skin games. I got in skin games. I ran a store box for probably 27 years.
What is that? What is a store box?
Store box is, I guess the equivalent on the street is a loan shark. I loaned out food. I loaned out money. I loaned out commissary. I mean, you come get anything from me. It's 100% interest. You come get 2 sodas, you gotta bring me 4 back. You come get $100, you gotta bring me 200 back. You come get whatever. It's 100% interest.
Usury, they called that in the Bible.
What?
That's a big sin, by the way.
Well,
Did you know that?
I did not know. Well, I knew what I was doing wasn't right, but I also knew it was.
No, get yours.
Yeah, it was profitable, and
yeah.
it was. And I got into it on a humbug because, to be honest with you, I was a patronizer of a store box. When I first got locked up, man, my people sending me all types of money, everybody loving me and scared for me and sending me money and all of this. And I used to eat and run out of stuff, and I go straight to the store box, man. Hey, man, let me get this, let me get that. And then, because I had money coming in, I go get it. And the old time, my man, shout out to him, too. He pulled up on me. He was like, hey, young blood. He said, why you keep going to store box like that, man? I said, man, girl, I be running out of stuff. I be hungry. He said, yeah, but you get money in all the time. I said, yeah, I know. I pay for it. I ain't gonna owe nobody enough. He said, well, why don't you run your own store box and keep all your money? I was like, oh, yeah. He was like, man, come on, man. You just getting all your money away, man. You go get $50 worth of stuff. You getting $100 back. So then when you get your $100 in, you can't spend your $100. You ain't spending but $50. And he dropped that down on me. And I don't know why, because we won't like super tight, but he just dropped it on me one day. And I sat on that for a couple of months. And I said, And I said, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can do it. And when I started doing it, I had looked at other people that was doing it, and I understood the dynamics of it. And to see, the thing with the store box is you can't let nobody buck on you.
I was going to ask you that. It seems very dangerous because you could just loan something to somebody and they say, you, I ain't paying you.
Yeah.
Damn, now I got to go do what has to be done.
That is the fallback of a store box. That is the fallback.
So how do you mitigate against that? Because you don't want to stab somebody every day.
No, because you don't have to stab everybody every day. What it is you have to open the store box and you have to lay down your law. You have to tell people how you run your store box. You have to tell them it's 0 tolerance. You have to pay. There's no excuses. I don't care if your dog died and your mama couldn't get the check in. It's none of that. You have to lay your law down. And the first person who goes against that law, then you have to demonstrate. So in doing that, you're gonna go to the hole. All your stuff gonna be packed up. Everybody else owe you. That's gonna be gone to the side because you're gone. You have to do that. That's a part of establishing a store.
Okay, so when you open a store in a violent prison system like Virginia, you are gonna have to go to the hole for somebody up to get your business going.
Right, and it ain't just you just can't them up. You got to smash them.
Okay.
Because that is the message that's sent to everybody else.
Yeah.
You understand me? So you have to do that. That's just a part of the game. Because if not, everybody's going to play with you. Oh, man, they ain't come in this week. I got you next week. And it just goes like that. Right. So you know that, but you just don't know when it's coming. You know what I'm saying? And that's the trickery with it. So
did the old timer let you know that was part of the game?
Yeah, man. But I watched it and I knew too because I seen dudes that try to open up store boxes and then dude buck on them or didn't pay, and then everybody started bucking on them. Then he ain't got no store box because he ain't do it. Then after they go from there, then they come in and they want to rob you. Then they want to extort you. Then they want to do everything to you because they know you sucker.
I want your booty hole.
Yeah.
I used to want your cup of noodle. Now I want that sweet ass.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? It goes like that. So, I mean, it's crazy, but this is prison, and this is what is going to happen. It's like a snowball effect.
Right.
So you have to do what you do. So,
okay. Can you tell us about when you had to, lay the law down?
Yeah, the first dude that ain't paid me. I got a pen in my hand right here, man, from a dude also that didn't pay me. One of the worst injuries I got in prison, well, besides being stabbed, it was probably one of the worst injuries I got. I had to do teeth in my
knuckle.
Yeah, man, it was all the way. I could see it. I could literally see the inside of it. But and that was over less than $2.
Right.
But it was the principle.
Yeah.
He came on the institution. He knew, and big old boy. Yeah. So a lot of them think they can get away with a lot more than they actually can. So he was like, man, what's store box, man? Man, come get something for me. Little small stuff. I think it's chips, soda, whatever. Come get it. So I got you, man. When my property come, woo. I'm like, and the amount of money is nothing. Because by this time, I got store-bought.
Looks like a 7-Eleven.
Yeah, bro. I mean, literally, I got hundreds and hundreds of everything.
Wow.
So,
oh, by the way, is this legal?
no, it's very illegal. But
it's rampant.
Yeah, it's rampant.
It's
you
not
learn how to
enforced.
get around it. I got locked up probably within 30-some years. I probably got locked up about 10, 15 times for running the store box. You know, but they know I was going to run the store box.
Right.
But, you know, I couldn't stop. I was just addicted to it.
You're killing it.
Yeah, so at this time, he come get some, and I give it to him. It's not really there because I got a lot of stuff. It's the principle. So then when he get it, he don't even say nothing else to me about it. And then a week go by, and his property has got to be here by now. Then another week go by, and I see you going to commissary, and I don't pay no mind, or it's just because so many other people pay me. And then another week go by, and I see you come from commissary with all these big bags, and it dawned on me, hey, man, that dude ain't even never give me my stuff. So I said, damn, well, he must think I'm a sucker or something. So we call Rick after commissary, and I go outside, and he outside, and he walking, and I'm walking. I see him, and I pull up on him, and I'm like, hey, yo, bro, man, you ain't never holler back at me, man, about that, you know what I'm saying, the chip and the soda and stuff like that. And this sucker say, man, you worrying about that little bitty-ass goddamn money, man. Ain't nobody give you that. Man, that ain't nothing, man. I said, but hold on, player. That's mine, though. So he said, man, I don't give, man, I ain't even got to give you nothing. I just take off on him because you talking crazy.
Yeah.
So when I hit him, I drop him, and he went to get up, and he was running his mouth, and he like, and when he went to get up, I hit him again, but I hit this, and it went so hard that it cut my whole hand open, and his teeth came out in my hand.
Ooh.
So
how many teeth?
One.
Just one of his lowers.
Yeah. So when I hit him like that, and he dropped down, then my hand was hurting, but I couldn't really feel it. At that time, it was numb. Yeah. So I just started kicking him and stomping him. So I'm stomping the hell out of him. So a dude ran over and said, Bank, man, leave him alone, man. You gonna kill him, man. So he grabbed me and pulled me up off of him. So he landed on the ground and everything. So boom, he pushed me. I was like, man, take my. So he walked me down. And bro, I'm telling you, before, he said, man, oh man, look at your hand, man. I was like, man, that's great. And I could literally move my hand, Johnny, and I could see the veins. I know what this stuff look like on the inside.
Right.
So I'm like, God damn. And the bone in there is like not even like our teeth, it's like shiny, it's real shiny,
wow.
like it got a glisten on it. I'm like, damn. Bro, by the time I get to that joint and get to he said, man, you gotta go to medical. By the time I get to the entryway gate to go to medical, I said, man, I hurt my hand out there, man. I was shadow boxing, I hit something, man. My hand, I gotta go to medical. So the officer looked at my hand, he said, oh, man, go. Yeah. So I started going, but by the time I got to medical, bro, that joint just locked up on me. That still hurt so bad.
Oh, my God.
Bro, it was hurting so bad, bro. I was trembling and everything. When I got to medical, my whole body was trembling. And they looked at my hand. They was, oh, what did you do? You gotta go to the hospital. You gotta go to outside hospital. So now they scare me because they making me panic even more. And bro, they loaded me up, took me to outside hospital, man, and I never forget it, man. They took me to University of Virginia. No, they took me to MCV. Is the biggest hospital, I think, in Richmond. And when I was in there and they was looking at my hand, I'll never forget, the doctor pulled the officers out and he talking to them outside of the door, but I could hear him. He said, y'all got to take him to MCV. That he needs a specialist for that. We can't do nothing for that. Wow. And he said, and you need to get him there fast because if not, the nerves are going to be so bad he probably won't have use in the hand no more.
Right.
So I can remember the officers hearing the officers say, well, we got to call back to the prison to get authorization to take him somewhere else. And the doctor said, well, you need to do something fast. Right. So I can remember them coming back in, and one of them came back in, and the other one went, I guess, to make the call. I told him, I said, look, bro, I'm chained to the bed in the hospital. I said, I heard what they said, bro. Y'all better take me to UVA, bro. I'm telling you right now. He said, man, we gonna take you. I said, bro, you better take me there. I heard what the man said, bro. I said, I'm telling you right now, if you take me back to that institution and my hand be messed up, I swear to God, if they let me out, I'm gonna murder you. I'm going to murder you, bro. I swear to God. Take me where I need to go, man. Don't let my hand get messed up like that, bro. You got to use your own sense. Don't tell the people I got to go. He was like, man, we going to take it. We going to take it. I said, bro, I swear to God, bro. I swear, man, you better get me there. Man, I was so scared, bro.
Yeah.
You talking about being in prison and you can't use your hand? Bro, I'm done. You know what I'm saying? All the people I done got to fight with already.
Right. Yeah, they're just waiting.
I'm done,
they're licking
bro.
their lips.
Bro,
it's just what we need is Banky disabled.
Bro, the dude came back. He said, man, we get ready to take it. We gonna take you, man. I said, man, let's go, man. Let's go. Please, let's go. Please, 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 y'all. And they got me up out of there, man. They took me to University of Virginia. I go there, man. I ended up staying like a week or something. Did surgery on my hands. First surgery I had in prison. I woke up, man. I was discombobulated. Hand messed up, man. I couldn't even close it. I couldn't do nothing. I had to be on, I had a ball. I had to be in medical for about 4 or 5 months. I had to use a ball for like over a year or something. All over less than $2. But it was the principle about it. You see what I'm saying? But that's what I tell people. You gotta do what you gotta do, but don't think just because you do what you gotta do, there's no winners in prison. You just lose and lose.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's it. You just hope you don't lose the worst, but you just lose and lose. Because even though I made my example with him, look at all I went through.
Yeah.
Bro, my hand was messed up for over a year.
Right.
I had lost, they locked me up, took all my stuff. I stayed back there so long, half of the food I had was the rats and the mice ate it while it was in property. Right. You got holes and rats all in your stuff. The other half is stale. Yeah. So, all of this, bro. Yeah. And then you got an enemy for life.
Right.
And then you might run into his cousin. You might run into his brother. Yeah. You might run into his homeboy. Right. So it's no winning in prison. It's just war at all times. And you can't get away from it. Right. It's just it's so taxing on you, man. People think that prison is just so physical. It is. It's very much physical, but it's mental too, bro. The mental warfare that you go through is just saying that I got to get my energy up to face another one of these days.
It's exhausting.
It's super exhausting, bro. It's super exhausting. It's like, bro, and people come on my videos all the time and ask, oh, Banky, would you say, yeah, you ain't really making no money yet, but you take $5 million to go do 5 years? I said, no, you do it. But they couldn't give me 10, 20 to go do nothing, because one thing I learned about doing time, there's no one on this planet can tell me different. There's no guarantee when you go in, you coming out. I seen dudes die on the first day. I seen dudes die on the first day. I seen dudes die on the day before they got out of prison. Going home the next day and the dude stabbed them to death on the yacht over a TV.
Seriously?
I swear to God, over a TV. That dude was up in the mountains on Wallace Ridge with me right now. He was, when I was there, he was up there with me right now. He probably still up there. Because his homeboy told me he gonna give him a TV. Right, I'm gonna give you this when I go home, because he had a release date coming up. Yeah. But then his other homeboy came from his actual hood that he grew up with, threw up with, played with. He just coming in the system. He ain't got nothing. He got a fresh 20 years. I'm going to give you my TV. So he go back to the dude, man, I got to get my homeboy just got here, man. He ain't got nothing. Ooh, dude been in prison about 8-9 years. He said, boy, but you told me you going to give it to me, bro. I got to give it to him, bro, but I'm going to look out for you when I get on the show and send you some money with it. No, bro, I wanted you, bro, I got to do it, bro. This my bro. Man, that's some bitch ass. Woo. Day before he go home, go out on the yard. Come out there and stab him to death.
Oh, my God.
Stab him to death, man, over TV, bro. See what I'm saying? He going home the next day. If you go look at my videos, it's an incident that I was indirectly involved in, a D.C. Richmond riot where a dude that going home in 3 days, get out of the hole and jump into a beef that ain't got nothing to do with him. He going home in 3 days. He's the only one that got killed.
Oh, my God.
He's the only one that got killed. You understand me?
And he didn't have anything to do with it.
He ain't got nothing to do with just his people from where he from. Right. And he came out and he wanted to be and you go home in 3 days. Multiple people got stabbed. He's the only one who got killed. You see what I'm saying? I was in there when a dude came in the first day and dude said he did something to his people on the street, stabbed him to death. 1 day in prison. So who gonna tell you going home when you come in prison? That's one of the dumbest things that anybody else. I ain't got but 5 years. Who told you guys gonna make it through 5 years? I ain't got but 2 years, bro. That ain't guaranteed. Not the bit that I did.
No.
I see people die every day. I see stuff pop off every day. You see what I'm saying? When you walk out of that cell, you got to be ready to kill or to be killed. That's what your mentality got to be. You have to be understand that your life might get took, and you got to be willing to take life to stop it. And that's what prison is. But these people would look at these TV shows, they look at these sitcoms, and they think, oh, well, you man, yeah, all right, get up in there. Why you think all these rappers and all these dudes and all these big time kingpin drug dealers that we knew that ran the streets and made multi-million dollars and they get in prison and they say, oh, now they're a rat because they flip, because they don't want to be there. Don't nobody want to be there.
A millionaire doesn't want to be
It's the
involved
worst
in that.
place on earth, man. You would never be in any place above ground that's worse than being in captivity, my brother. I would sleep on a bridge before I would be an inmate again.
Yeah.
You understand me? Because I can get up every day and try to change my circumstances. You can get up every day in prison and you can do the right things. You can work out. You can educate yourself. Your situation ain't gonna change till them people open that door. And you gonna have to deal with it, whatever you gotta deal with every day until they open that door. You see what I'm saying? So it's the worst place on earth.
But yet, you were still gambling every day.
I was gambling every day because I was an idiot. I admit that.
Okay.
Because you still got to eat.
Was poker more lucrative? The gambling more lucrative than store boxing, or what did that look like in terms of revenue?
Store boxing is more lucrative.
No, tell us real quick, because I'm fascinated by prison hustles. If you're loaning out 2 sodas, getting 4 back. You're loaning out 10 soups, getting 20 back. Is that where the commerce ends, or can you get money out of that? Can you actually get currency out of that? How do you turn that into cash?
Easy. Okay. All right. Say for instance, one of the biggest commodities in prison probably be coffee, right? Okay, so everybody drinks coffee. Coffee is one of the biggest commodities in prison because you got dudes who smoke weed, you got dudes who smoke crack, you got dudes who do dope. Not more of them do coffee. So coffee is a commodity. All right, you got 100 bags of coffee in your store box. That's a lot. 100 bags of coffee. I've had 400 bags of coffee. Okay, you come and you borrow 4 bags of coffee, you got to bring me 8 back. The equivalent to 8 bags of coffee, let's say the equivalent is $50, $60, right? Okay, so if it's that, what I would tell you is, okay, Johnny, instead of bringing me the 8 bags of coffee back, then just send $60 to this address right here. Or I would say, Johnny, well, what I need you to give me $60 worth of Gatorade. Because I'm going to take the Gatorade and I'm going to give it to the wine guy. And the wine guy is going to make some wine with this Gatorade and it's going to bring me in $400-$500.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? So you could take, once you have a surplus of everything, you can trade that off to other things and turn it into real money.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So once you got that going on, you can manipulate and do whatever you want to do. You just came on the compound. So you come on there and they got a grandfather clause in effect where you come in, you can still have stuff that we can't order. You might come in, just being that you brand new, you got a brand new pair of Kobe Bryants on. We can't order Kobe Bryants. I may step to you and say, hey, man, what size you wear? Boom, boom, it's my size. Man, let me get them. I ain't selling my shoes. What you want for them? I'll give you $300 for them because I can take and turn around and sell them for $5 or $6, or I could keep them and just be the only one on the camp with some Kobe Bryants on. You see what I'm saying? So I have the money to manipulate and do what I want.
Everything was an investment.
And I could go play poker.
Right.
And I could take a loss or take a hit for $100, $200 because it's coming out of money that I've already earned off of my initial money that I started with. I started store box with $100.
Right. How much? What did you get up to?
I done had thousands and thousands of dollars in my store box. I done had a store box so big that I had too much stuff to keep in my cell that if they come, I'm automatically going down. So I put it, me and you cool. I put $400-500 in your cell. And I said, well, Johnny, hold this for me, man. You just eat every night what you want. I ain't say feed yourself. I ain't say go gamble. Yeah. Eat what you want. And you hold this. Then I go to my other homeboy, hold 500 his cell. Go to my other homeboy, 500 his cell. Other homeboy, 500. At one time, I had at least $500 to $600 in like 6-7 dudes' cells.
Wow.
I was on Powhatan one time and they got hating on me so bad. I had so many people on me that they send the people at me. So the people come at me, and at the time I probably got $3,000-4,000 worth of commissary in my cell, which is way too much than you can have. So they take it all. You understand me? And they give me a racketeering charge, a stowbox charge. So they take it all. But I know they came because they dudes wrote notes on me, right? Trying to get rid of me, thinking they was gonna lock me up, but they didn't. So me, being young and arrogant, and I go out in the party, beat my chest, I know one of you told on me, you sorry, broke, I find out who all this stuff, right? And yeah, you ain't did nothing. So I'm so arrogant, I go to one of the dudes that's holding all the stuff for me, and I load it all up in bags and get him to help bring it to my cell. Like, y'all ain't did, and I still got it. You know what I'm saying? They outthought me. Well, they said, okay. They send the people the next day.
Yeah.
Came right back and did it again and locked me up.
How long do you go to the hole for?
I stayed right there about 45 days.
So then do you lose all your...
Yeah, all that's gone. They taking that. It's gone. Yeah. It's a loss.
But what about people that are holding it for you?
No, that's still mine. When I come out, they still gonna have it.
Okay.
But I'm trying to be arrogant to show them, like, y'all ain't did nothing. Y'all must don't know I got stuff everywhere. You ain't hurting me. And I did that. And ain't nobody buck up and say, hey, shut up, or would. Ain't nobody do nothing. So I'm thinking, yeah, I made my point. I get all that stuff, put it right back in my system. People came and got that the next day. They came right back, shook me down again, as if to convince me that somebody tell it. Like, yo, he took it back and he said, he got some more. Come get him again. And they came and got me and locked me up.
But it's, for a guy that's doing life, there's no choice. Like, you have to hustle, and you have to, like, what else would you be doing? I guess bringing in dope, but like...
You know what I'm saying? And then
that's difficult because you have to, that's kind of just luck. I got the guy...
to involve people on the street.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So, in dope in Virginia... It's good money. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's good money if you could get it, but the hate in that is so deep that if you can stay away from it, you want to stay away from it.
What were the most popular drugs in there, in Virginia prisons?
The most popular drug would probably be heroin, because it's the dope. Because you got a lot of dudes that do dope because of the proximity in Virginia. You got a lot of Richmond dudes that like dope, and you got a lot of Tidewater that like dope. Those are the two biggest cities in Virginia.
Right.
And there's a lot of them in prison. Yeah. So a lot of people like it. So if you get it, a lot of people like it, but a lot of people can't afford it. So when you get it, and then if you ain't built to hold it, the ones who can't afford it, they trying to take it. So it's a dangerous game, you know what I'm saying? But it's a profitable game. But weed, a lot of dudes smoke weed. If you can get weed, you just better off sticking with the weed, because a lot more people do weed, a lot more people can afford weed. Right. Now, this is where penitentiary got tricked up. In Virginia, they took the tobacco. They stopped it.
And everywhere they did.
I swear to God, I thought they was going to tear the prison up, and they didn't, but they took that. That became the biggest commodity.
Oh, yeah. The hustlers love that. Bro, that was a gift. That was a godsend to the hustlers.
Bro, you could take on the street, a pound of tobacco, especially like menthol, go to the tobacco store, get that, a pound of that for like $15. You send that in prison, get 6,000.
Unbelievable.
You know what I'm saying?
How do they sell it? Do they sell it by the stick, or
wholesale? They will roll it, but they will what they call flat-footed out, man. They will roll them Jones up in J's and send them, and they sell them J's. They like what they call mosquito legs. They would sell them Jones for like $8, man. And dudes is buying them left and right. Yeah. And you got COs bringing in a pack of Newports, a pack of Black and Miles and stuff, and going for $600-700.
Just for a pack of Black and Miles.
A pack, my bro. So you talking about a CO, bro, you can't stick no pack of Newports in your bra. Stick it in your boot or something, bring it in. I'm gonna give you $600, man. Boy, they doing it.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Because that's a turnover ratio like I don't know what. So it's crazy.
It's a good risk for them too, because it's not dope. So they're like, okay, if I get popped,
even I get caught, I ain't going to jail. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no felony, but I'm gonna lose my job. Then they take a Newport Long, but they get all the tobacco out of there, and they probably make 12, 13 cigarettes out of that at $8 a pop.
Wow.
For one cigarette.
That's unbelievable.
One cigarette, you're gonna make about $80 to $100. So do the math. Yeah, it's crazy. So, and then as time went on, the prices started going up higher and higher. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about that's what the price was when I got out. I've been out 5 years.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you got dudes in there literally getting, I know dudes in there when that tobacco ran out. I'm telling you, man, no cap. I know dudes in there got 18-wheelers out here on the street, running up and down the street now, got a whole businesses and everything, and it come from tobacco. And
from the money they made in prison.
And they still in prison. Wow. And they still in prison. I know one dude in particular, shout out to you, you know, he got 4 18-wheelers on the street and 2 box trucks. Tobacco.
Running full businesses.
Full businesses. His mama and his uncle run it. They ain't getting paid. Tobacco.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? He had 2, 3 police.
How interesting is
bringing them tobacco.
What was Virginia built on? Tobacco.
I'm trying to tell you, bro. So right now in Virginia, it's high reward, low risk. It's just tobacco. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to think, how many dudes was smoking and had a smoking habit of tobacco before they took it? You see what I'm saying? The only thing that I can think that even can compare to tobacco in the Virginia system is coffee. If they take that coffee, I guarantee you they're gonna riot. They're gonna turn. There will be a bloodbath. Yeah. So many people drink coffee. So many people got to have that coffee. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But coffee and tobacco, and when they took that tobacco, I thought they was gonna set that joint on fire. I was prepared. They didn't do it. But once dudes figured out the way to get in it, now this is probably one of the most disgusting things you probably ever heard. But it's absolutely
that knuckle thing was pretty bad. So whatever you're about to say can't be as bad as that.
I beg to differ. But okay, so we up at Wallace Ridge, the redneck hillbilly place. I tell you, right. So this is when tobacco is outlawed already. It's illegal. It don't even supposed to be on the compound, not even by officers. You know, it's illegal. They hillbillies. They're coming in there chewing snuff and tobacco. Spitting in cups. Don't even supposed to be on the compound. So, what they're doing is when they chew it, being they don't supposed to be on there, if they work in the booth, they chew, they spit it out in the trash can, they tie the bag up before they change shifts so the next officer, in case they don't chew tobacco, come in and don't tell on them, and they take it, throw it in the dumpster, right? They're walking on the yard and they see a sergeant or lieutenant or white shirt coming, they spit it on the ground and keep going. Dudes start picking that up, raiding the dumpsters, looking for the smell the trash cans got in, bringing it back in, getting that spit out, chewed up tobacco, taking it to their cell, burning it, setting it on fire to dry it out, breaking it down, putting it in cigarettes, selling it, $7, $8 a pop. Dudes were stabbing each other to get it.
The knuckle thing was still grosser because I've heard of that before. I've heard of that hustle before.
Spitting. Yeah. This is chewed up, spit out tobacco, and they smoking it and they selling it and they get money off of it and they fighting to get it. Man, you going to the dumpster? You been just going because you see me going. Man, get out my way. And they beefing over this stuff. Because they making hundreds and hundreds of dollars out of it. You know what I'm saying?
And when your tolerance is so low, the people that are using it, that you can actually get a buzz from this recycled tobacco juice.
If that don't make somebody stop smoking, I don't know what would,
Makes my stomach turn.
And when you see these jokers just spitting it out, what?
Yeah, from their mouth.
This come out of Officer Johnson's mouth, bro. But dudes was joking on Joe. Dudes was beefing because of that. Dudes get to fight. Man, you be smoking that joint out, spit out tobacco. Man, what's wrong? Man, don't worry about my bitch. And they rumbling over this. Yeah. It's crazy, Bobo. If you smoked, I used to say all the time, right? If you smoke and this don't make you stop smoking, brother, you will be smoking till you die. You would be smoking till you die, bro, because that was enough right there to make you never want to smoke again, man. They taking chewed up tobacco that's been spit on the ground, bro. You see them out there on the yard walking, and two people see it at the same time. They racing to it.
Yeah.
And
It's pathetic.
It's pathetic, bro.
Now, what about the alcohol? You said sometimes you would fund like these moonshine, these hooch, what do you call them, cooks? Like tell us about the booze in there.
Man,
that's also an old Virginia tradition.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you, brother. I've talked about it. What was the name of that show? It was a show that came on when I was right before the end of my bit, man. It was about these. Just what was it called? They lived out in the woods, and they was like offset from the community. They stayed out there and they made their own moonshine. That was their source of income, and they called it some type of wine, and they used to sell it to the locals. That was what they was known for. It was a good series, man. I think it was Outsiders, something.
Might have been,
but it was a good series. Anyway. I eventually had to sell it. It was my homeboy. He's from D.C. too. And shout out to Jerry, man. He's still locked up 42 years and counting. Best winemaker on the compound.
Wow.
And he ended up moving in the cell with me. And at the time, I hadn't even drunk no wine. I had stopped drinking this stuff. I hadn't drunk no wine probably about 7-8 years. I'm like, man, I was back on my workout stuff. And he moved in there, man, and he kept making this wine, and I saw his process, and I saw how it was in so much demand, for people wanted it, right? And he liked smoke weed. So he'll make that, and he'll barter, he'll sell it off. They trade it for the weed guys. So he really just wanted to make it for the weed guys, but it became so good, everybody wanted it, right? Like 1 cup action, we call it. Drink 1 cup, you blaze.
Yeah, right.
So he kept saying, man, you don't want to try this? You don't want? I said, nah, I'm good. And I never forget, it was Super Bowl. Who was it? It might have been the Saints against somebody. And he was like, this is buzz, man. You sure you don't want to try one before we watch the Super Bowl together? I saved about 4 cups. You can get 2. And I was like, nah, I'm good. He said, you sure? And he put that pressure on me, man. I said, yeah, I'm going to try one. But I watched that joint. I was blazed. After that, I was drinking his stuff every time he came up. And I funded it. I started funding it. You know what I'm saying? I paid for it to get made. You know what I'm saying? So it was helping him get money, and I was able to, you know what I'm saying, have me a drink at all times. Because I was save some, put it in lotion bottles, and put it all up with my cosmetics. I had so much cosmetics, I could, and the longer you let it sit, the stronger it get. So I would set stuff up there in my cosmetics. I got 30 bottles of lotion over here. So I put it in 2-3 bottles of lotion. And and then put all my other cosmetics. They never knew.
And how much are you selling it by the cup?
Oh, bro, they sell a cup. They probably sell a cup for probably like $10, $11. You know what I'm saying? Pens, if dudes got weaker wine, $8, $9 for a cup, 16 ounce. But the police was having them water bottles, drink the water, and they would drink them water bottles all day and they'd throw them away. And you have one dude, he would go collect all the water bottles. Whoever worked with the trash, he'd collect all the water bottles and bring them to the wine man and sell them to the wine man. You know what I'm saying? 30 bottles of that. The wine man would take the bottles and sterilize them with hot water, and then he'll fill them up with the wine, and he'd say your bottle is already 16 ounces. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So the money in wine is the best. I would say if you can get away with it. It's hard to get away with it because of the smell and everything. But if you can get away with it, it's the best hustle in prison because it's all in-house.
And there's almost no inputs. Like what does it cost you? You have to smuggle in oranges from...
All you got to do is everything comes from the kitchen. You need no outside help. No. You need nothing. All you need is a kitchen plug. You need the potatoes or the oranges. You need the rice. You need the jelly. You need the sugar. You know what I'm saying? And you need the juice.
And it's cheap. Cheap. It's nothing.
But the turnover... You can make 6 and 8 gallons at a time. Wow. It's going for $10, $11 a cup. So you do the math. Oh, you know what I'm saying?
You're talking about like almost $1 million businesses.
Yes. And then you had certain dudes, which really, to be honest, it was only white dudes, that knew how to burn the alcohol, burn the wine off and turn it into 150 proof alcohol.
Right.
Straight white lightning, what they call it. Where you light the fire to it and it burn blue flame. And you had a white dude, like the last one that I was around like that, his name was Crash, little white boy. He stayed funky, drunk, and high all day. I used to just look at him and like, I don't know how to unlock him up. Every day he's like that. Hey man, he just messed up all day. So he knew how to make the liquor. He would take wine. He could take bad wine that ain't a batch that ain't come up good. He could burn it off and make good liquor. It's crazy. Now, a 16-ounce bottle of that, $60. Wow, $60. Yeah. So he did that to fund his get high. Uh-huh. And then he ended up in the cell with a dude that was kind of like that, won't like that. But he was like the enforcer, but then it was like a gold mine to him. Oh man, they put Crash in my cell. So now they got a liquor business that's just like booming. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He making liquor every week and he killing them. I'm talking about literally, man, he might make $4,000 or $5,000. You know what I'm saying? In a week.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Now, is that because there's obviously a lot of money in these places? Yeah, man. And it sounds like the prison population is huge in Virginia.
Yeah, Virginia, like 1,500. You know what I'm saying? You could be on an institution got 1,500 people on.
Yeah, that's big. And there's a lot of them.
Right, and then you go to Greensville. It's the biggest institution in I think it's the biggest institution in, definitely biggest in Virginia, but in most states. It's like 3 prisons in one. So you're talking about 15. You're talking about 3,000 people. Wow. You know, and you got to count another unit that's all segregation. So you're talking about maybe 4,500 people.
So what year did you start to see light at the end of the tunnel?
Shit, I ain't seen that light at the end of the tunnel until the tunnel came to me. You know what I'm saying? I was like, man, I went up for parole every year. And what you got to do is I trick myself and say, I'm going to make it. They're going to give it to me. But probably somewhere in the back of my mind, I knew they wasn't, you know. But when that thing started coming up with that dude, like I told you, Paul Taylor, man.
Yeah, so tell us about this individual who basically, because as you said at the top of the episode, yes, you go to the parole board, even if you're doing life at 12 years, but they don't give anybody that.
Right.
It was like a 2% parole granting
in the whole state.
Yeah.
So you're talking about hardly nobody making parole.
Right.
And then along came the GOAT. Paul Taylor, who coincidentally, respect, has changed his name now because he changed his life. He goes by Taylor Paul. True story. Yeah, man. He changed. He had a big luncheon last year, and I was one of the keynote speakers. And he don't be liking to take credit for it, but I said it in my speech. There was a lot of people there, and I was like, for real, bro, you know, you don't like to take credit, but me and a whole lot of other people in this room wouldn't even be out here if it hadn't been for your moves. And that's just real talk, man. Whether he want to acknowledge it or not, he got out, man, because he created a program, and they wanted that program. I don't want to speak wrong, but I think the program was called Insanity, and it was an acronym for something. Yeah. But the program was official, bro. I mean, it was official, and they wanted to use it, and whatever happened with that in the negotiations, well, he get out. And once he got out...
Hang on, but this is fascinating how he got out, though, because I think you're kind of glossing it over.
They wanted to my understanding, they wanted to take the program, and they thought that he wanted something for the program and to facilitate the program. Mm-hmm. But they wanted to use it on their own within the DOC.
Right.
And he did not approve. Yeah. And they said, well, like, I guess.
And this is a guy doing life.
Yeah, life.
And when we say program, you should know what that means. But for my audience,
he created a pamphlet, a guide as to how to help people in the system become better productive citizens once they leave.
Right. Whether that's like how to parent, anger management,
all of that,
how to get a job, how to I don't know what else is involved.
I mean, how to fill out an application,
right?
How to all of these things, get a driver's license. He encompassed all of that within his program,
right?
And it was well written and well done.
Yeah.
So they wanted it,
right?
But he had stipulations on getting it. So I guess being the big DOC bully that they are, they said, well, we'll just take it. Not realizing he's not slow by any means. Just like he had the capabilities to create that, he had it copywritten.
Right.
So then ensued a lawsuit. Then ensued some negotiations. Then ensued, I'm free. And he on the street.
So they said we still don't want to pay you, but how about you just go free?
Yeah, because the lawsuit in itself, if copyright
infringement
you get a lot.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? If people take your intellectual property and use it for their own benefit. So I guess they was realizing that being that they the great big DOC, and they looked at the weighed out their odds, and he ended up on the street. And it seemed like that would be the end of the story. But it was the beginning. He get on the street, and some type of way he get himself in position to be around the parole board themselves.
Yeah, the members of the parole board.
The members of the parole board, which if you go back in history of Virginia, or I don't know about anywhere else, every time I went up for parole, my people had to submit some type of paperwork to try to go speak for me, just to speak in the behalf of me getting out. Sometimes they would get in touch with them, sometimes they wouldn't. Sometimes they would let them talk, sometimes they wouldn't. Sometimes they just make the decision regardless. So getting in touch with the parole board was almost an impossibility. Yeah. Now, if you was incarcerated and you write the parole board and say, I wanted to, I've changed my life, that's just like just spitting out the window.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This man got in touch with the parole board, not only in touch with them, I mean, he was hands-on, setting up in offices with them, head of the parole board, vice chairman, all of the parole board members. This man started sending pictures in where he taking pictures, hugged with the parole board members. Wow. And people in prison, me included, lost their mind. Like, who is that? Oh, that's the head of the parole board. What? And it was crazy. So everybody in prison started, Paul Taylor. We need to get in touch with Paul. Yeah. Paul got hands-on with the parole board. Right. So it was like he was more or less a liaison to the people that was locked up, and like he can, recommend you. Yeah. And they paid attention to his...
It's almost like a super lawyer.
Right. And they paid attention to that. But this is magnificent. This is unheard of.
It's incredible.
So, everybody was trying to get in touch with him because he was the man, you know. And then he started his own program out there on the street, and he was getting big funding from Walmart, police departments. And he was just doing his thing, man. He started a league. I think it's called The League, and it's about getting rival gangs, instead of shooting up each other, suit up, put on basketball uniform and some shorts. You suit up, y'all play against each other. So he started basketball tournaments in the hood and making dudes stop the gun violence.
Right. And he's Allen Iverson's boy, right?
He's Allen Iverson.
And so Iverson's funding him. And
Iverson funded with Iverson showed up for him. Matter of fact, the first time that I seen Iverson was at a party that was for him. And Iverson showed up. Yeah. And shout out to Troy Catchmore, too. Another one of Allen Iverson's hometown friends. Both of them was incarcerated with me. And second time I seen him, Iverson was at his party. Yeah. But he support them. He grew up with them, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about from the sandbox. So boom. Catchmore first day home after 26 years. First FaceTime call he ever got, walking out of the penitentiary after 26 years. Pusha T. Yeah. Welcome home, man. Wow. Where you want to go eat at? You know what I'm saying? See, people don't know that Tidewater, and I'm not from there. I live there now, but I'm not from. It's rich with talent. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? If you think about it, these are all the people that came from this same hood. Allen Iverson, Michael Vick, Bruce Smith, what's that other dude? He was #1 draft pick in the NBA too. Can't think of his name right now. But then you go to Missy Elliott, Pharrell, Pusha T, the Clips, Timberland, Magoo. It's just so many.
Right.
They're all right there.
Fascinating.
These dudes are from that same age era, and they grew up with them. They just got in trouble and went to prison.
That's a small community.
Small community. Yeah. So you're talking about all these people that's right there, and you know, he still held them down, man. So
it's incredible. So this guy gets out just unbelievably, you know, just act of God. And now he's becoming this like figurehead in the community, and also the benefit of the pendulum swinging and America kind of waking up to all the over incarceration that we've done, and that was in your favor too. I think history was in your favor.
It was in.
So obviously you shot a letter to Paul Teller.
I got in touch
get
with
me
him.
out of this.
I got in touch with him, but
what year was that?
Probably I got out in 2020. I talked to him on the phone a couple of times, maybe in 2018, you know.
And would he tell you to like get your shit together, like put together some good behavior?
He asked what I was doing, and he was always diligent in that. What are you doing? What type of certifications do you have? When the last time you had a charge? It won't like he was just willy-nilly throwing them people.
Right.
You had to be able to create a case where he can fight for you. He can go to the people and say, hey, look, I know this guy, and look what he's been doing for the last 5 years.
Right.
It was one of those type of things. So a lot of people was trying to say, well, you know, he's just helping certain people, this, that, and third, but he couldn't help everybody. But his help helped everybody, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yes.
So I just was always I'm a visual learner. Like right now, you can tell me how to run these cameras. I ain't gonna know how to do it. But if I watch you do it, I know how to do it. So I watched him, and I watched what he did because I was there, and I said, I know this window ain't gonna stay open long. I gotta get out of here, man, while they getting out is good.
Yeah.
And I got busy and said, I'm gonna create my own program. I ain't been to no law library. I ain't did nothing, which is another thing that I want to say, too, while we on camera. That's one of the worst things we do as individuals being locked up is we accept that time and we don't get busy at trying to get ourselves out. That's one of the biggest mistakes we do because in life, there's always flaws and there's always errors, and we never go look for them. We just accept. They say, you got 20 years, you got life sentence, you got 2, and we just lock into doing our time instead of doing our due diligence to see if there is an avenue to get out. And I was a victim of that as well. So with that being said, once I saw what was going on and my name was being skipped over, I'm seeing this guy make it, this guy make it. And I see that guy, he went on. He did way more than what I did. So I'm like, I can go.
Yeah.
So I locked in. I tried to create my own program. I started going to the library. I started studying. But my routine was the same every day. I work out, again, I stopped it all. I was library every day, you know. And I studied and I read and I created my own program. It was called Rehab, which I think is an excellent body of work. And it was an acronym for reevaluating habits and behavior. And I started shopping it around first to dudes, letting dudes look at it, see what they thought about it. And they was like, man, this is on good, this is on good. Then I started showing it to COs. Then I moved to sergeants and lieutenants. And then I came up with a sign-up sheet saying that if I get this program implemented, would you take it? And I had over 200-some dudes sign it. And then I had officers sign it after they read it saying that they like it. And I took it to the major with all these signatures and let him read over the program. And he called me back in a couple of days, said he loved it. He said he liked it. It was great. He would see what he could do. He took it to the warden. The warden called me and started talking to me and said he liked it. Asked me how I come up with it. I told him I just was, been studying it. I've been down there doing it. The librarian, the lady that run the librarian, she was helping me every day. She vouched for me. She said, oh, he's down here every day. He's diligent. He was doing it. He did that himself. Woo, woo. So then he was like, hey, man, I was looking at your record, man. He said, man, you've been in a lot of trouble, man. He said, you've been quite busy. I said, yeah, but I ain't living like that no more. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get out. He was like, why? What changed? I said, I'm trying to get out. And he was like, he said, when you go off for parole again? And I told him, it was probably about 6-7 months later, then we was talking. He said, just let me know. He said, shoot me a letter. If you stay doing what you doing, shoot me a letter and I might go in there and speak for you. And that was surprising to me because nobody had ever did that. No warden or said not even remotely close to saying that. And he did it, And it even shocked me more. So I was like, oh man, he went in there, said, wrote a letter for me. I'm gonna make parole. It turned me down, And I was like, dang. So I go up the next year, he's still the warden. And he said, send me a letter. I seen him on the boulevard. He said, send me a letter when you go again. I got you. I said, oh, okay. So I sent him, and then when I went, it just so happened that day he was there when I go up for parole. And when you go up in the same building that's in their office. Mm-hmm. So I'm in there with the examiner talking like me and you talking, doing my parole hearing, and he come in. He said, excuse me, I know y'all in a hearing. I don't mean to interrupt or nothing, but I just want to say something on behalf of him. And he was like, listen, I've been doing this for 30-some years. You know me. We met several times. He said, if I'm going to vouch for anybody that's going to go out there and do the right thing, I'm going to vouch for him. He said, so I just want to put that on the record, and I want you to relay that to the parole board. If I'm going to vouch for anybody that I believe is going to go out there and do the right thing, it's him. And that was big, man. That was real huge, big, man. And he was like, I just want to say that. Make sure you put that in the notes. And he reached over and he shook my hand. And, they don't even touch you in there.
Right.
He shook my hand right in front of the examiner. And I was shocked, what I'm saying? Kind of like had me stunned for my words for to finish what I had to say. So I'm like, did this just happen? And, yeah, man. And when I made parole, they usually call you. They send the word to your counselor. Your counselor call you over there and give you the news. Usually, there's always no.
Yeah.
You ain't make it. As it turned out. I seen not grant so many times. I don't even like putting them two words together. Not grant.
Yeah.
Not grant. Not grant. I got a whole stack of papers like that. So, crazy thing about it is, man, this side prison is just so unpredictable. Waiting on an answer, and I almost get a fighting with a dude. He was just playing with me, man. And that dudes will do that when they know you're waiting to go home. They know you under pressure.
Yeah.
And he got smart out of his mouth. The dude would never talk to me like that because he knew, everybody knew. I've been waiting for like 10 months. And it's in the air. The dude's making parole now. Wow. Now Banky waiting too now. So he knew it. He got all, and I was ready to, and we got down to it where he just kept talking. And I said, come on up to my cell, man. And my cellie begging me, man. He was like, man, no, Banky, man, you got some, man. And I get him up there, and he come up to the door. He talking all loud. And he like, man, I said, just come on up in here. Come up in here. I said, let me tell you something. You this parole up, I swear to God, this is going to be your last day on earth. So bring your ass across that door sill, and I promise you, this is going to be the last day you live. You hear me? He told me, no, you talk. I said, I don't want to talk about it. Come across that door sill, and I'm going to take your life. You know what I'm saying? So what you going to do? Because all that loud talking and all that, I ain't with that. No, but listen, man, what are you going to do? Either come across the door sill or leave me alone, man. Leave me alone, I'm telling you. And he go. Thank God. You know what I'm saying? Right. And because I was there, you know what I'm saying? And the next day, I'm out there working. And it's probably about 20 minutes before count. And they call me to the booth. And they said, the warden wants to see you. And I said, for what? Said, I don't know, but you gotta go now. I said, I ain't even dressed. I had on shorts and t-shirt. He was like, you gotta go. He called you gotta go. I said, what is it for? And he said, I don't know, you gotta go. And they opened the side door, told me go. In my mind, as I'm walking over there, I said, one of these hot snitches done wrote a note and said, I was over here getting ready to fight this dude. And he probably saying, you got me vouching for you for parole, and you over here, I think he getting ready to lay me out, lock me up, let me know, nah, you got me messed up.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing I'm thinking when I get over there. So when I get over there, before I get to the building, he's standing out in front of me, hurry up. Because it's almost count time, and I'm running down the boulevard. I'm the only one out there. So I go there, and I'm scared. My heart pounding like hell. He take me in his office. He got the assistant warden in there. He behind the computer. He said, you heard anything about your parole? I said, nah. He said, well, I'm sorry to tell you ain't make it. I was like, shh, for real, man? He was like, yeah, man, you ain't make it. I was like, dang. And probably 10 seconds passed. He let me sit in there. He was like, nah, with you, man, you made it. And I was like, for real, man? And he was like, yeah. And I said, man, no disrespect or nothing, man. Because this is warden, the head warden. I said, no disrespect or nothing, man. I said, don't play with me like that, man. Is you serious? Because I never heard that before. And he said, yeah, I'm serious. You made it, man. And I was like, for real? He said, yeah. And then he shook me up again. He said, it's official but not official. I said, what did that mean? He said, let me show you. Spin his computer around. Let me see his computer. He said his wife worked at another institution. Cool with somebody on the parole board. He called her and said, check on him and see what's going on with his parole. He been waiting for a long time. She called her. She told her he's made it already, but we just haven't finished the paperwork. Tell her. She called him. Tell him. He called me over there and tell me. And he showed it to me, the whole conversation.
Wow.
He said, you're going to get your paperwork within a couple of days, but I wanted to be the first to tell you, congratulations. Johnny, I'm telling you right now, bro, when I went back to that building, that's the best walk I ever took in 33 years. I felt like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like when you dreaming, you know, like you daydreaming, like, this ain't really happening. And walking back, and it's like, I don't know, man. It's like the air smelled different. Shit looked different that I've been looking at for years. I'm like, go home, dog.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go home. And he told me before I left, because he knew how important my mom was to me. He was like, call your mom before you go in. I'm gonna call over and tell you, get a quick phone call, make it quick and go in. And bro, I went to that phone and I got on that phone and I try to turn my back to everybody. I'm on that phone like this because I knew I was gonna be balling.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, boom, and I was on that phone, and my mom was in church at a funeral or something. And she answered the phone low. She was like, what's up, baby? I said, Mom, I gotta talk to you. Go outside. She said, what's up? I said, go outside, I gotta talk to you. So she go out, and she get outside. She said, what's up? Because she thinks I said, Mom, I made parole. And I swear to God, man, the first thing I heard was, hallelujah.
Yeah.
Hallelujah. Boy, I just stopped balling. Yeah. Boy, I was balling. I was like, Mom, I gotta go. I just wanted to tell you that. I love you, I love you. And she was just screaming and crying, bro. And I went to my cell, man, and I don't know, I guess it was just all over my face, all of my energy. And I walk in there, and my cellie was like, he an older guy. And he was like, you got some good news, then. I was like, he said, what is it, Banky? I said, he said, you made parole? I said, he said, for real? I said, yeah. He was like, gosh, so much. I was like, and I'd sit there, man, that whole count, bro, I was in a daze, man. I was just like, I was crazy. Then when I came out, I called my daughter. I told my daughter, same reaction. It's crazy. She was driving Uber. I told her to pull over because I didn't want her to wreck. She went crazy and started crying, man. And I couldn't believe it, dog. I really, really couldn't believe it. In my mind, I'd been locked up so long, Johnny, and been so many turn-ons in my mind. I'm like, something gonna happen. They're gonna say, nah, we made a mistake, or no, we can't let you. I couldn't shake that. But I was still excited because I believed it, but I couldn't shake that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a long couple of days. You got to wait after you get the word, right?
And then when they finally moved me to take me off, because when you make it, they take you off that institution and they send you to another institution and put you in a reentry program that you got to complete for 5 months. Then you go home. When they moved me to reentry, that's when I said, these serious. They didn't really let me go. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, that's that one of, well, you know, that's probably one of, if they say, you know, I ain't had no good days in prison, but if I had one, that was it. Yeah. That one day right there when he told me, you know, I made it and I was able I was able to tell my mother and my daughter that, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, I never forget that feeling right there, bro. And, you know, besides walking out, yeah, that's, you know what I'm saying? And that was a warden, bro.
Yeah.
It's a warden.
It's incredible.
And
So, you know, obviously he
looking
saw
for him.
something.
I've been looking for him. I wonder, he retired. You know, I called up there a couple of years later, and they say he had retired and stuff. And I wanted to find him because I was like, I just wanted to thank him, you know what I'm saying, personally from me to him, you know, for him taking that chance on me. And I wondered, like, a lot of people in the system know what I'm doing. And I was like, man, I wonder if he know. You know what I'm saying? I wonder if he know what I'm doing, and you know, but I'm gonna find him though, because it's easy. It should be easy to find, but it hasn't been because his name is like so common. His name is called like a phone call.
Yeah,
Warden Call. So Warden Call, if you see this, man, I'm telling you, brother, I definitely appreciate you, man, from the bottom of my heart, man. I really do. You know what I'm saying? And I've been back in prisons to speak. I done spoke at colleges. I done spoke at high schools, junior highs, detention centers, Boys and Girls Club. And yeah, man, I just always think about Warden Call, man. I said, I wonder if he know what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? That I really, you know, did what I said I was gonna do.
Yeah, he hasn't wasted it. And you got busy right away. Tell us about your YouTube channel, you know, where we can find you, follow you, what you got coming up.
Man, my YouTube channel is Banky Pound 1932. That's, I guess they call that your URL. And on my YouTube, man, what I do is just explain what prison is really like, man. I give you scenarios of what really goes on in prison, not what you see in no sitcom, not what you see in no movies, real scenarios in prison, man. And I always end it with a message, man, to be safe, be smart, make good decisions, because this is the last place on earth you want to end up at while you're above ground. Your liberation is everything, man. Whatever's going on out here in this world, you know, it gets worse on the other side, man, because you got to deal with that alone. And that's my whole message of what I try to preach over there. I also got Instagram, Banky Pound. I got a TikTok, Banky Pound, Facebook, a Banky Pound, 4 Pound. And we doing the same thing on all platforms, man. We pushing positive energy. This year, I might get a movie. I'm working on getting this movie put out, man. So we trying to raise this money to get that jumping, but we're pretty sure we might gonna be able to get it done. And I probably gonna have 2 books coming out this year, so y'all stay tuned, look out for that. And
very entertaining, I want to say. Yeah, you know, you're a great storyteller, and it's a good follow.
Yeah, man, most definitely, man. Y'all come check me out over there. We all about positivity, man. If you're about positivity, man, you're welcome. We don't take no bad energy, man. We just want to save these young people, man, and keep them from making the mistakes that we already made, man. My definition of a hater is someone who been through something and want to sit back and watch other people go through it instead of trying to open their mouth and help them, man.
For sure,
you
for
know,
sure.
It don't cost you nothing. You know, it don't cost you nothing, man.
Man, what a talk. I really appreciate it, brother. Man. Thanks for coming out to Austin.
Absolutely.
Enjoy your time out here.
First time in Austin, man. Got out here, man. Thanks to Johnny Mitchell, man. And I enjoyed the conversation, my brother. I'm definitely in my travels and moving around, man. I know a lot of people, man. If they're into this, man, I'm going to recommend they come sit down and talk with you, man. It's a great conversation, great talk.
I would love that. And jump over to Patreon. There's while I got you here, you know, I got 1,000 more questions I want to ask you. So just jump over there for a bonus chat. With Banky Pound. What an honor. I'm sorry it took so long to get you in here.
Yeah, but we was working on it. What's supposed to happen happens.
That's right, man.
It's been 2 or 3 years in the making, man. Dude. For sure.
Yeah, 33 years. You can wait a couple of years.
Yeah, man. I got patience of Job,
you know? All right, guys. Banky Pound. We'll see you over at Patreon, patreon.com/The Connect Show. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you, champ.